attention, boys and girls. It's time for Blame and Phable and his amazing friends.
Station. What is going on, everybody? Welcome to Blame Phable and his amazing friends without Nick Comic Culture. How's everybody doing today, man? But please, without further ado, help me welcome Brother Joe.
Station, everybody. You know, the holidays are here upon us, so let's start with this. You better watch out. You better not cry. You better not pout. I'm telling you why. Santa Claus is coming to town. He's making a list, checking it twice. Gonna find out who's naughty and nice. Santa Claus is coming to town.
Hey.
He sees you when you're sleeping. He knows when you're awake. He knows if you've been bad or good, so be good for goodness sake. Oh, hey. You better watch out. You better not cry. You better not pout. I'm telling you why. Santa Claus is coming. Oh, Santa Claus is coming. Yeah, Santa Claus is coming to town.
I love it, Brother Joe, man.
Hey. The scary season is over. Now it's my time.
Now it's your time. Christmas is your time.
You know it. You know it.
Brother. I love it. Well, thank you as always, Brother Joe, for singing us in on the show, man. You are awesome. Love having you on. Unfortunately, our brother Nick didn't clock in this morning again, man. This afternoon, rather. He didn't clock in. What's going on with the guy? He's out there on vacation, I heard.
Did he change his clock? Did he change his clock back forward? For
that's probably what's going on. That you probably nailed it right there. His watch is off or something like that. Oh man, Brother Joe. But Brother Joe, what do we always have on this show more than anything else, Brother Joe?
Well, I got a surprise for you at the end, but we have the very best of them all. And that's the most amazingest friends anybody could ever have.
That's right. Anybody could ever. Oh, man, I got the giggles today. Yeah. So, of course, we got some amazing friends joining us. We got a co-host to fill in Nick's spot right now. So I'm going to bring him in. Help me welcome Missing Link.
Oh, man. Here comes.
Hey, sir. Missing Link, of course. No stranger to the Blame Phable show. He's been with me since like kind of the beginning, really. But this time he will be co-hosting with me today. Missing Link, how are you, my brother?
I'm good, bro. I'm a little stressed out with these co-hosting duties. I'd rather be in the past, like kind of watching and chiming in every once in a while. Honored to do this. Actually, but I'll try to hold my weight. You know.
You need a contract this year, Stef. You need a contract.
Don't worry, man. We're always making contracts all the time. That's what we love doing in the back chat. Just making contracts.
With all the writer strikes and everything and the drama everywhere, it's good to have because shoot, it's just getting
crazy.
More and more important.
Yeah, I gotta make an AI of Stef's face. I'm gonna make an AI, and then I'm gonna put him on OnlyFans. And he won't be too mad when he finds out because I'll just give him the money. You know what I mean? Like, don't worry, I'm in the site for you. It's all good. Okay. So, of course, man, I always try to have somebody from the PCP Army join us if possible. And this time around, man, I got two PCP Army Bad Batch guys to join us today. So let me bring them in. First up, we got my brother, Stu. Dr. Doom's
Station, everybody. How's everybody doing today?
Chilling, my brother. How are you? How was your week, brother? Thanks for joining us, first of all.
Man, thanks for having me, bro. I always enjoy hanging out with you guys. Good week, man. Great week. I agree with Link. You know, we're all carrying this burden, but it's all for one for all.
Hey, Stu.
We're in it together.
Stu, what's that big C for? Claws?
It's for season after season of misery, brother Joe. That's what it's for.
Oh my God, the football talk never ends with you guys, man. Can't escape the football talk with you guys.
Stu, you're the best. You're the best.
Station, thanks for joining me, Stu, man. You're always welcome. Of course, you were once a co-host of mine, and of course, you'll probably be one in the future. So. Thanks for joining, my brother. Let's bring in the other PCP Army Bad Batch guy I got with me, my brother, Blood Splatter Chatter.
That's my arch enemy. Wait, no, that's my evil twin.
Is that why, Joe?
Yeah.
Spooky season never ends if you're hanging out with me.
Hey, brother, I'm glad you're here because we always got to have the yin and yang in life. Both sides, and we still meet in the middle.
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah. I'll tell you what the best thing already about being on Blame Phable is Amazing Friends and being on YouTube is that I got these super nice headphones on and I got to be serenaded by brother Joe like in these dope ass headphones. I'd always just heard them through my phone before. This is where it's at.
It's another stereo now, man. You got the surround sound now.
I might get the big head.
Well, thanks for joining, my brother. How was your week, man? How you been?
Good, man. Good. Busy. Doing a lot of sitting around, hanging out with a baby, and then being on a bunch of different shows. So it's been pretty wild. We've been pretty jam-packed.
Yeah, you have. You guys have been busy this week.
Yeah.
All of you, man. Supreme Clientele. We have a Blood Splatter Chatter this week, and of course these three gentlemen were on both those shows. So hey, man, third time's the charm. Let's bring them all on Playing Phable.
Absolutely.
Let's rock out, end the week right, man, with the Supreme Clientele boys and Blood Splatter Chatter, man. So yeah, let me just say what up to the chat before we bring in our guests. I want to say what up first. Of course, my brother Stu is in the chat saying station, everyone. Station. I got my brother Sal in the chat.
Sal.
Hey, Sal.
How are you, man? We got Phil's Treehouse in the chat. Station, Phil. How are you? We got our brother, Bobby Delegato, in the house. Bobby G. Station. How are you, my brother? We got the troublemaker, man. Two Gun Pedro. Pew, pew.
Two Gun's the only one that has his own sign, and it's pew, 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 pew.
That's right, man. That's our brother right there. We got another brother, Eric, the Stash, the Rants, in the house. Stash. How are you, my brother? Thanks for joining us, man. All right, man. So let's bring in our guest, Hyper Combo Comics, man. This guy is a guy I think I've known him for a little while at least, or we've interacted here and there, you know. And I'm not 100% sure if I did a stream with him. I'm almost sure I've been on a stream with him. But either way, he's a great voice in our community, has an awesome Instagram, awesome YouTube. He's recently tried to start up his own little thing, do his own thing. He'll tell us about it. But yeah, let's bring on Hyper Combo Comics, man. Station.
And yeah, listen, Phable, just to clarify, we actually did we did share a stream, but it wasn't on either one of our shows. We were actually guests, I think, on No Good Comics stream.
Yeah, I think it was
Yeah.
one of those things. I know I was on the stream with you at some point, man.
Yeah, that or Morbius Comics. One of those two streams, I think we were guest stars, I guess you could say. But no, never were we actually on either one of our shows. This is the first time, so it's an honor, guys. It's an honor.
Oh yeah, man. When I saw you were really pushing your own content, pushing your own channel, I said, well, let me reach out to Hyper, see if he wants to jump on. That way he could get, maybe something going with that on this show. Maybe give it a shout out. So Hyper, man, let us know, man, what is Hyper Combo Comics all about?
Listen, before I start, like you alluded to, because I'm starting my own channel, I have a greater appreciation for people that actually have their own channel, because having a consistency is probably the most difficult part about keeping a channel. So I know this is what, like, your fifth, I think this is like your fifth episode, right?
Seventh.
Shoot, my bad.
Number 7.
So you're still pretty early, but you've been keeping on a pretty regular. So honestly, man, kudos to that, because I'm just realizing how it is a bit of a grind. So definitely happy on that.
Oh yeah, it's absolutely grind. I don't know what I'm doing still, Hyper.
I don't think a lot of us are. I think it's a lot. I think it's very much a learning as you go kind of thing with this whole YouTube situation.
And I tell you one thing, if it wasn't for all these gentlemen that you see on the screen with you, I wouldn't be able to do any of this. You know what I mean?
Sure.
They help me out so much with everything that I do. But for me, man, it's all about having fun,
Exactly.
Hyper, I provide the musical portion of the show.
I can see that. I can see that.
I dip out, but before I go, it's the holiday season. So between now and Christmas, for every show, I want to give something away. Oh. And I'm giving away this poster today.
Oh, wow.
Oh, Verno, look at Verno.
Oh yeah.
You got my address? How do I sign up? I'm gonna get in the chat. What do I do?
Well, Verno, unfortunately,
yeah.
I only have two stipulations. With all the drama and beef out there, I got some drama with the Backlog Bros, so they're disqualified. They're out of my contest.
Wow.
I know what that is. What is that?
Who are those guys anyway?
Hey man, I don't know, but I got hit up and I wanted
just
when I
throwing haymakers already.
The first person that sends the correct answer to my DM will win it. But I don't know. I just been getting bombarded in my DM with Backlog Bros this and Backlog Bros that, so I'm getting to get to the bottom of it.
Well, man, I hope somebody wins that dope ass Terrifier poster, because if not, Verno's gonna come bother you in your DMs.
I'm already in them. I'm balls deep in his DMs right now, dude. I'm fucking living in them.
So my question, I watched Taxi Driver last night. You looking at me? You looking at me? I'm the only one here, so you must be looking at me.
Wait, actually, hold on, Joe.
Nice.
I gotta show you this, because you said you're stepping off. I was gonna show this at the end, but I did it. Oddly enough, I pulled off this homage.
Oh, nice.
Ghostbusters, hell yeah.
Oh, wow. I gotta make this man. Hold on. Let me make this man larger here.
What a coincidence. That's awesome, dude.
It was literally in the pile that I was about to show at the end, and then he mentioned Taxi Driver. This is actually pretty hard to find ghosts.
Nice.
No pun intended. I think I only saw 2 listed. I picked this up for like $10 at my shop. If you only knew what people were asking for, it's kind of stupid amounts. But
wow,
yeah.
Man, you started early, Hyper. Blame Hyper already.
Well, he mentioned he was gonna step off, so I figured I need to show him that before he did.
Oh yeah, man.
So my question to the audience is, give me the names of the 4 main actors in the movie. There's 2 females and 2 males. I consider the main. Give me the name, put it in my DM, and put your address. I mean, I'll tell you the winner. I'll find the winner and ask them for their address.
Make sure you put your DM in the chat, Brother Joe.
Yeah.
One of you guys do that, because I'm, me.
If anybody can help us out, put Brother Joe's DM from Instagram in the chat. If you know the answer to the question, he'll send you a Terrifier 3 poster, man. It looks awesome, honestly. I want one too. It's not just Verno. I want one too.
Does this count? I just took a picture of the IMBD and I'm just sending it to you. We'll see. No, I'm just joking. I'm just joking. I don't count. I'm on the show.
Brother Joe, man.
All right, gentlemen, you have a great show. Let's get down to business. And remember, you better be good. You better watch out. You better not cry. You better not talk because the man's coming to town.
Oh, yeah.
Station.
Love you, Brother Joe. It's always crazy.
I love how Brother Joe went from Captain Spaulding to Santa Claus in no time.
Santa Claus, right?
Like that in like a day. It was great.
I know, man. All right, man. So, of course, this is the show where we go over pop culture news and topics. And guys, this week is crazy. I don't know if you've been paying attention to your news feeds, but it has been an absolute explosion of news. Usually, I'm like fighting to get like headlines and stuff every week, right? Like it's tough to grab a headline that we can just have a good 20-minute conversation over. And so far, we've been lucky. We've been able to get that happening. But can you guys take a guess at how many headlines I pulled just for this show? I'm Link. How many headlines you think I got for this show?
Wow.
10?
Oh wow. Okay.
Gotta go up.
15.
Bingo. 15
13.
headlines
Wow.
that I got for this show.
I'm gonna be lifting through these, I guess.
Yeah, it is crazy this week. So that being said, we tend to take the smallest topics and turn them into an hour conversation anyway. So we cannot do 15 topics or 15 headlines. So what I want to do for this show, fellas, I'm going to pick two of the ones that resonated, I think, the most this week in the community, the ones that people were just talking about all week. And then the rest of them, we could just rapid fire because usually I do a roundtable discussion, and that's what I'm going to do for the first two. But for the rest of them, I'm just going to put it out there. And if anybody in the panel wants to just throw their thoughts on it, maybe they have some thoughts immediately because they've been wanting to talk about it. And guys in the chat, you guys too, man. Any thoughts on these topics, you just put it in the chat. I'll try my best to keep up with you guys and highlight the best stuff. So let's start off with our first topic. Oh, and we're skipping housekeeping. Like, it's just too much to do. So we're going to skip housekeeping this week. Usually I go, throw your sets of Saturday, blah, 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 blah. Not this week. All right, man. So let me just play the intro to the news here real quick. News item number 1. Deadline reports that Pedro Pascal is in talks to play Reed Richards in the upcoming Fantastic Four film for the MCU, man. But sources saying that the scheduling is kind of being worked out right now because my man is a little busy. Pedro Pascal has got Gladiator 2 coming up, which I didn't even know. Did you guys know that there was a Gladiator 2 movie?
I had heard rumblings. I didn't know it was all the way like that they had cast for it and stuff like that. I didn't know it was that far along.
Same.
Yeah, it's coming out like soon, I guess. But yeah, Gladiator 2 is coming out. Season 2 of The Last of Us, the hit HBO show based on the video game. He's got that. He's got a film. And he's got another movie called Weapons, which I've never heard of before, but he's going to be the star of a movie called Weapons, and that should be out pretty soon too. Go ahead.
I think that's the next movie from the director of Barbarian.
Yes, it is.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Stoke, Zach Krieger.
There you go. Yep, that's his name.
Okay.
What's that going to be about? What's that going to be about? Real
There's
quick?
like nothing on it, man. I just looked at it
really?
recently when we talked Barbarian. At that point, a couple months ago, there was nothing released on it other than Pedro Pascal and Zach Krieger.
Okay.
Wow. Well, yeah. So he's a busy man, but according to Deadline, he's in talks to play Reed Richards, and really the only thing that's holding him back is the scheduling, right? They got to figure that out because Marvel wants to move this thing up as fast as possible, and understandable given all the bad press they've had lately and the whole Jonathan Majors scandal and all that other stuff. So when this news hit the net, man, I mean, IG went crazy. Like there was like a split right down the middle, man. I saw a bunch of people going, "Yay, yeah, I love Pedro. That's awesome." And then I saw a bunch of people like, "Oh, Pedro again? He's in everything." I saw this just big split in the community, and I just wanted to get everybody on the panel's thoughts about this Pedro Pascal rumored casting, because some people already took it as like he's casted. He's going to be in this movie and that's it. And I just want to say that it's not confirmed, or at least I couldn't find any confirmation. This is Deadline citing some sort of source, and Deadline, you know, they're the movie guys, you know, they know their stuff. They got a lot of sources. Usually their stuff is right. But yeah, it's not confirmed. But anyway, just wanted to get your thoughts on this casting. I'm going to start with my brother, Link. Link, what do you think? Pedro Pascal, Reed Richards.
I'm here for it, man. That's inspired casting. You know, it's not something I was thinking at all in terms of Reed Richards, but where I heard it, I was like, maybe I'm just biased because I really dig Pedro, but yeah, I'm here for it. I think he'll add a nice little. Reed Richards should kind of be like annoying, just because he's not pompous, but you know, he's intelligent and that can turn some people up. But he's got like this endearing quality to him. I love the word endearing, but it's he's like endearing, you know. It's like, ah, you damn nerd. I know you mean well. And I think Pedro will be able to. No, I mean in a respectful way, but I think Pedro will be able to add a cool layer to Reed Richards that maybe people haven't thought of before. You know, I'm excited for it. If it goes through, I'm all for it.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. He does have yeah, he is annoying. He can be annoying, at least to his family.
Good.
Yeah. They all know he means well. Yeah, you're right. Stu, man, Pedro Pascal, Reed Richards. This is big for you, right? I mean, your thought. I want to hear what you think about this.
I think I love it, man. I think he's obviously a great actor. I get where people are coming from saying that they've seen enough of him, but I think he elevates everything he's in. I think I think this is kind of like Marvel might have put this out there hoping that it comes true, like, because I know that they really want to kind of change the tone and the direction of things, and you know, having a really solid lead for you know, that cast would be a good step in the right direction. But yeah, I think it would be great for the MCU. I think it would be great for the Fan 4. I think he could pull it off, no problem. Yeah, I agree with Link. Richards is annoying. So it also be, you know, that guy also dies really well. If you're familiar with him going out on Game of Thrones, or what was that, Equalizer 3 or 2 or whatever. But yeah, I think he's Pedro's, you know, creme de la creme. One of the best in the business right now. So to get him on there would be awesome.
Yeah. I'm glad you mentioned that about him being like a solid starting point, because now you gotta recontextualize your thoughts about who could play Doom, right? Because now you can't. Now you got your Reed. You got to have his antithesis, and now it kind of maybe narrows down a little bit some of the actors you might have had in your head, right?
Yeah, absolutely. No, absolutely. And you want, if you're gonna have, you know, that being his arch nemesis, you're gonna have somebody who can match him step for step when it comes to acting, who's no joke. So I think, yeah, and also like I was saying, like that immediate family, everybody is going to want to be bringing their A game on set, and I think from the writing to, it'll affect the entire production. I think like having an actor of that caliber, or that you know, that hot of a commodity, I think is a great thing. Would be a great thing for the film.
Oh yeah. Verno, my brother.
And
are you tired of Pedro Pascal, brother?
No.
I mean, hold on, Link. You were gonna say something, because I know Link is a little bit on a delay. You were gonna say something, brother?
Yeah, I just want to say, can I add real quick? I'm also super excited that this the director is like one of the key directors from It's Always Sunny. So if he can bring that sort of humor flavor to the like Fantastic Four, I think we're in for a good time.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's a
My bad,
weird
Verno.
fit. Me sitting there picturing the Fantastic Four screaming at each other and just being like low lives. You know what I mean? But sometimes those odd fits work. I'm kind of on the side. First of all, I'll echo everything you guys are saying. Like, I'm a fan. I like the dude, and my give a shit level isn't super duper high. Like, I'm not like I've lost a lot of interest in the MCU, but definitely the Fantastic Four is one that I'm more interested in most things. But I am kind of on the side of it's not just him that he's everywhere. Sometimes it feels like Hollywood, there's like 7 actors in Hollywood and actresses, and it's just like, especially within Disney. And I remember like at the time, a couple years ago, Disney's buying everything up. And I was on the side. I'm riding the Avengers high. I'm Endgame. Like, I was so into it, spending $300 a week on action figures and being crazy. And I was like, Disney should buy everything. I hope they do buy my town. Like, they're so good at things. but now a couple of years later, it's like, yeah, everything's feeling the same. We're seeing the same actors in all these roles. If you can play by their rules, media-wise, where you're not going to get out of line, you're not going to say the wrong thing, then they're like, oh, thank God, we've got one. Let's put him in everything. But though, that's just I guess a nitpick, or that's part of what I'm thinking. Will he be good? I'm sure he'll be great. Does he ooze like intelligence to me? Like, I don't know. I don't know. I didn't see Last of Us, so I really know him from like The Mandalorian and even like Wonder Woman 84 is where you see the most of him, where I've seen the most of him, and Game of Thrones. So I don't know. I trust these two. Like, if you guys are saying he's a good fit, you can see him fitting in that role, I'm about it. And I don't trust Kevin Feige as much as I did, but I still have faith in Kevin Feige and the people casting at Marvel.
Yeah, I think that's okay.
I was gonna say his natural charisma, like when he's in like the natural Pedro, when he's like in interviews and stuff, he's like more soft spoken and I don't want to say timid, but shy than the characters he usually plays on screen. Like, his characters are more out there than his natural composure in person.
I saw this little bit where it was like, it was something I forgot about this. It really made me like him as a human being. He was talking about, like, you see him in press stuff, and he's talking to some girl actress. I think the girl that is in Last of Us. He's like, you see my hand there on my stomach? He's like, that's where my anxiety is. And he's like, not knowing he's being recorded. He's telling her about, like, I get nervous, and I'm like, I don't know. He's like a gentle kind of guy.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I see what you're saying about like intelligence, though. He's definitely bringing more charisma than like that nerdier side of things. So it'll be if he does end up getting cast in the role, it'll be interesting to see how he portrays that or interprets that.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, he's gonna bring, I think, another side of his acting ability. You know what I mean? Like, if you haven't seen him play an intelligent person, I think he might, and then you'll be like, oh, that damn Pedro, I'm falling in love with him all over again. God damn it! Can he do? Is there nothing he can't do? It might be one of those situations. But Hyper, what do you think, man? Pedro Pascal.
If this does pan out, it's either him or Chris Pratt that are almost vying for the role of the most roles for like pop culture properties. I don't know who's who's leading. I feel like Pratt's kind of on the lead on that one. Listen, right off the bat, I am like, okay, I'll put it this way. I think because I've been hearing several things on the rumor mill about the Fantastic Four, specifically the casting itself. Like Reed Richards, I heard Krasinski was going to reprise a role, even though he got turned into Linguini, in the last movie. And then we heard Adam Driver, and then now we're hearing Pascal. So it's getting to a point where I'm almost at the stage where until I see a camera with the dude in the blue spandex and someone leaks a screenshot, I feel that's the only time I'm actually going to believe it. At this point, it feels like it's what it is. It's a rumor. In terms of the actual validity, I'm a bit skeptical, to be honest, because especially with the phase 1, how Marvel learned with Robert Downey Jr.'s hefty price tag that he had on his Iron Man contract and all that. You notice that the casting lately in the MCU has been towards a younger generation because they also want to lock them into long-term deals, because these aren't going to be one and done franchises. Like the Fantastic Four, when they do come in, I'd like to believe obviously it's going to be a multi-picture franchise, right? So you would think that they would cast someone who's more on the younger. That's why you have like America Chavez. What is she? She's like 16, 17, I think, right now.
Yeah.
So it's like it's almost like they're purposely, and also they don't command a high price tag because literally they're not homegrown, but it feels like they're getting their notoriety through the MCU. Whereas if you bring in like an RDJ or like at this point a Chris Evans, they're gonna command a higher. And Pedro Pascal, with the roles he's been killing it on, Mandalorian, Last of Us, and he has been Emmy nominated for The Last of Us, so that raises the stock that much higher. So it kind of almost deviates from the latest casting that we've been seeing from the MCU. So for that reason, I am a bit skeptical on that news itself. Right. If he does actually get cast in the role, I think he would add a bit of a. It'll be a refresher for the Reed Richards role because he is more of that nerdy, punchable kind of character of the four in the Fantastic Four. Pedro has that natural charm, like you guys mentioned, that kind of exudes on camera. And I've never one thing I've learned is, with an exception to a few, there's been a few castings in the past that I've kind of been skeptical on MCU's decision, but they've kind of won me over. So that's why casting wise, if it does happen, I'm not going to be one of those people that's going to be like, it doesn't fit, because it seems like, look, with the right director and the right script, you can kind of make it work. So it's just, I'm just kind of skeptical on the news.
Absolutely, bro. Absolutely.
With the
people. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry. No, I was just gonna say, with the age thing, I feel that, but it's like, the counter to that, I guess, is the Mahershala Ali as Blade. He's 52, I believe, 51, and he's older than Wesley Snipes was when Wesley Snipes almost made his third Blade movie. So it's like, how many? I'm like you, Combo. I'd imagine they want more than one movie out of these guys.
Yeah.
But it's like with the cast of it's like he's going to be in his mid-50s by the time his first Blade movie comes out. Maybe he'll get 2. I feel like the idea is they want to get like 3 movies out of these guys, but he's going to,
Elizabeth Olsen
he's going to be in his.
I saw in an interview somewhere Elizabeth Olsen talking about that was like one of her big pieces of advice to the younger generation is be wary of those big deals. Because I think she signed some version of one early on, but because like obviously the stock could either rise or fall, but if it does rise, it can rise in exponential ways where your contract's really not keeping up with the value of the product you're putting on screen. But that's a good point. I don't know. I'd imagine they still want to do that in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah, so the thing is, it's kind of easy for someone like an Elizabeth Olsen to kind of give that advice, but then when you're talking to someone like the girl that played America Chavez, she doesn't have much notoriety. So for her, it's the glam of actually being in the MCU, and it is stability. She knows that she actually will have an acting gig for at least the next 5-10 years. So there's that stability that goes with it. So sometimes you're right. The thing is, a lot of these big corps like Warner Brothers, Disney, they do want to lock in their, because they don't want to see, like, let's say someone playing a role in their wheelhouse to suddenly jump to the competition. Like, imagine if you saw America Chavez, the actress, playing like a DC character like a few years later. That's gonna be like, what the hell? And regarding the Mahershala Ali point, I did kind of make a joke. Like, look, with the amount of delays that the Blade movie's been getting, at this point, he might just be playing the role of Whistler instead of Blade.
That's so true.
I don't know when that movie's gonna take off the ground. Listen, I've been waiting. Like, it's been 4 years or 3 years since we got the initial announcement at SDCC, right?
Yeah, it's been a while now. Yeah, absolutely.
That's crazy, homie. I didn't realize he was that old. That's wild.
Right, right. He looks good. If I could just say something about Pedro's age, he was 5 years older than Robert Downey Jr. was when he took over the role of Iron Man. But I feel like, you guys tell me what you think. He's the type of character, if they want to do a 10-year plan with him and he's 58 playing Reed Richards is a dude that he could still be Reed Richards in his 60s. He's the type of character that could get old and be gray and it would still work. I feel
the gray streaks help out a lot, I think.
But For me, it's more also not so much that he would actually like. He definitely can make the role work. I think it's more like where the actors are in their point in their career. Because even Evans was even at a point where he kind of was fatigued with the superhero role, and he's a lot younger than RDJ. It's almost like it feels like and Batista made the same point about him playing Drax. Like he kind of wanted to go off and do other movies because he kind of felt a bit typecasted. So it feels like once people start getting into that in their acting chops, and Pedro is clearly very versatile, we don't know what his mindset's going to be 5-10 years from now. He might get sick and tired of doing all these comic book or pop culture. He might want
special effects movies,
blockbuster,
especially when you're getting into that into your late 50s 60s. They generally actors do have this thing about how they want to be taken seriously, and casting agents, like when you're kind of typecasted as, oh, you're that superhero guy, they feel that that kind of pigeonholes them.
Right. He's just getting it. Correct me if I'm wrong. Like he didn't get his money until recently. Like he wasn't a name until he was in his deep 30s, I bet.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? There's some of those other guys, they've been getting paid for a long time.
Yeah, there was that clip of him on Buffy way back when. I didn't realize how long he had been at it.
Yeah.
There's a clip out there of him on Buffy. It's pretty.
That's crazy, dude. Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy. I guess for myself, Vampire, when it comes to Pedro, I love Pedro. I think he's a great actor. I've loved him in everything he's done. Mandalorian is one of my favorite things. Last of Us was incredible. I have no doubt in his acting ability. And to be honest with you, he did not even enter my mind until I saw the rumor of him being casted, which is crazy to me, because when I did hear his name, I was like, oh yeah, Pedro. yeah, that might work. I started thinking that might work. But then, I'm going down my timeline, and like a good friend of ours, or one true nerd king, he posted a post of his enthusiasm for the casting. And I went down the comments of his post, and almost, I would say 80% of it was like, Marvel, boo, you're doing this again. Oh, start it over. Just start the MCU over again. Just negative after negative comment. And those are valid points. They all have valid feelings, right? They're tired of this actor they feel is everywhere. So I understand that. Even though it's not me. Right. I get it. You know what I mean?
I think like I'm realizing more and more, and I think we all know this. The comments, the people that are going to be more likely to comment are the ones that have something negative to say.
There you go.
I almost want to do an experiment, just like post nice stuff, something just praising something, and then post something controversial and just see the difference. Like
see the difference. Yeah.
The negativity is what you're going to
see. But the feeling is out there, and because it's out there, it might work against the movie, right? It might work against the movie. I tend to think that Pedro's that talented that even he'll turn his haters into lovers. So they just got to watch the movie, you know what I'm saying? And he'll do it. But it really, a lot of people really chimed in on this, and that's why I wanted to talk about it. So let me get to the chat, see what people in the chat think about this casting. If anybody got any thoughts. First of all, my brother Manny in the house, Station out and about, Manny. Wanted to show some love. Station Manny. That is the executive producer of Blame Phable. Sal said, who knew Brother Joe has horror posters? I know, right? I think he's scared of the poster. I don't even know how he's holding it. Like, who's this guy talking about? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's that either. Yep. Yeah, you guys are totally on point. I'm on the road, can't chat, but listening. No worries, Two Gun. Get home, get wherever you're going safe. 2 hands on the wheel, my brother. 2 hands on the wheel. Exactly, Manny. Drive safely, brother. Let me see. Oh, whoa. This thing just jumped. Hold on, guys. My bad. All right, first of all, this chat will Melanin and Dragon. How are you, ladies? They had their show last night celebrating. I think it was 100, right? Something with 100 or 100 something. I forgot what it was. I'm sorry, ladies.
Just celebrating the number 100. They just
it was just like 100 years on YouTube, like we love to say. But yeah, thank you for joining us this afternoon, Melon and Manga. I love you guys. Love seeing you guys in the chat. Congratulations.
Congrats, guys.
You're killing it. Yeah, you guys are killing it. We got my brother Warren Smith in the house. Station Warren, how are you, man? We got Chill Out Man in the house. Early morning station. What up, guys? What up, Chill Station?
Warren.
Let me see, man. Everybody's saying what's up to each other. Hell yeah. Oh yeah. No one has smoked as much weed as Wesley Snipes making Blade 3. Wait a minute. There was a Blade 3 movie?
Yeah, with Ryan Reynolds.
What? No,
it almost got
The Mandela effect.
Batista thinks he's a serious actor because he blows smoke up Dennis Villeneuve's butt. Who the hell is Dennis Villeneuve? Villeneuve.
I think it's Villeneuve. Is it Villeneuve or Villeneuve?
Say that again.
Denny Villas. I don't know how to pronounce this. Oh, he directed Dune.
Okay, I got you. Oh yeah, and Batista was in Dune.
Hey, listen, credit to Batista. He actually, I mean, I don't know if you guys have seen his other non-Marvel movie roles. He's actually, in my opinion, in terms of wrestlers gone actors, he's kind of right up there. I find he has better range.
He was good in that M. Night Shyamalan movie.
His film
and Blade Runner, that he was great in Blade Runner. 29
yeah,
or whatever.
Yeah, that M. Night Shyamalan movie. I forgot the name of it, but
his Knock at the Cabin, something like that.
Say that again, Lake.
Knock at the Cabin.
Cut off a little bit.
I'm checking. Sorry. No, I was saying to chime in what Combo was saying. If wrestlers turned as actors, like no other wrestler turned actor has as prestigious a filmography as he does. Like he's worked with some of the biggest names in film right now. So
yeah, that's a fact. And Station J, thanks for joining us, my brother. This is what you guys call Blade. God, I'm getting old. My blade is sharp, blunt, and don't pay taxes. Mike Hag, Station, my brother, how are you? Oh man, director of Dune. Okay, thanks guys. And Blade 2049. There you go. You said it, Jay. It takes talent. Hell yeah, man. All right, so let's get to our next topic, man. This one. So basically, Sony Pictures dropped a new trailer for Madam Web this week, man. This film starring starring Dakota Johnson as Cassandra Webb, Tahar Rahim as Ezekiel Sims, Sydney Sweeney as Julia Carpenter, aka Spider-Woman 2, Celeste O'Connor as Matt Franklin, aka Spider-Woman 3, and Isabella Merced as Anya Corazon, aka Araña. So the trailer was absolutely roasted online, guys. As soon as this trailer dropped, everybody has something to say, from the way it was edited to the Ezekiel character who looks like a kind of a bizarro Spider-Man, all the way to this one line that she says in the trailer that everybody's been memeing to death this week. The one where she says, "He was in the Amazon with my mom when she was researching spiders right before she died." Weirdest line in a trailer I've ever heard. But yeah, this thing got absolutely decimated. Now that doesn't say that there's no excitement for it. There's people excited for some of the Spider Women that'll be making their first appearance in this film. But overall, it was a lot of negativity towards it. So I just wanted to get everybody's thoughts. Are you excited for Madam Web? And I'll start with Hyper Combo, man. Madam Web, what did you think? What did you think of this thing?
Listen, now that a lot of us are content creators, and you realize usually the first 30 seconds is usually the window that you want to grab the audience attention. Otherwise, you'll lose it. And trailers, look, in my mind, a trailer, the whole intent of a trailer is, especially for people that don't know anything about this franchise or property, you should be intrigued. You should be like, okay, I want to. Honestly, the perception I got after watching the trailer is like, what the hell is this? Like, and this is me coming from the comic book space, right? So
Right,
imagine
you know
imagine
what
that
it
the
is.
casual viewer watching this. It just felt like there was a lot of sequences shot together that, and like you mentioned, the editing was was a lot more miss than hit. And I mean,
Somebody actually wrote down. Somebody actually wrote it. I was doing research. 80 something cuts, 87 edits in this
yeah,
trailer.
the thing
It's
is,
crazy.
I shouldn't need, like, basically this trailer was almost designed for YouTubers to kind of break down and kind of splice and then figure out. That's not what a trailer is meant to be. You should be able to
Right.
actually watch it on the first view and already have some takeaway from it, rather than it shouldn't feel like I'm watching a Nolan film where I need multiple views to kind of figure out the actual meaning behind. And listen, this is a nitpicky thing, but maybe because I've been doing editing on, like, I've been trying to dabbling in editing, like, I don't know if anyone mentioned this, but even the lettering on the title, it looked like someone just got a subscription to Canva and just started, making that the lettering on that. So I don't know. It just felt very amateurish, and it seems like it's very much fitting in terms of Sony's offering lately and on what they're putting out, at least in terms of publicity.
Yeah.
Like, the movie could be great, but the thing is, you got to get people into the door first. And then that's why you're seeing movies bomb, and then that could be actually critically acclaimed for all we know. So
Yeah.
the trailer definitely doesn't do this. Who knows? Maybe there might be a second trailer that might kind of flesh things out a bit. But as a first impression, yeah.
No, absolutely. I agree with you. I had that same exact feeling. I watched it. I'm like, what the fuck is this? I just watched. Not that I was like, listen. When it comes to the Spider-Man movies from Sony, I have zero expectations. I'm going to tell you that right now. I have zero. So they could only go up. It could only be up for me with them, because in my opinion, Spider-Man cast without Spider-Man, I don't want it. That's just me. I don't want it. Doesn't mean I won't watch the movies, but it's just not something that I'm excited for. I'll never be excited for that. Can't have Venom without Spider-Man. That's just my opinion, and Venom without a spider on his chest. No. Get out of here with that nonsense. But I still will give it a chance. But anyway, my brother Verno, Madam Web, what'd you think?
My dude, this is the one you sent me 4 trailers before we got going. This was the only one that didn't have a thumbnail. So I didn't even see it. I didn't even watch it until like right before we got on. And just to give some perspective, like when you said my IG's blowing up, Pedro Pascal, all that, my IG, not a mention of it. So you know what I mean? Because it's completely horror. So like I don't hear any of this shit. I don't know who like comic books. It's been a couple years, but my perspective, just throwing it on. Don't know
that's good. That's good.
I see Dakota Fanning, and surprisingly, I'm like, I'm kind of intrigued. She did the Suspiria remake a couple years ago. She's incredible in that movie. I know she's famous for the 50 Shades of Grey. Yeah. I mean, I only saw those a little bit, but she was pretty hot in them. She was amazing in Suspiria. So I'm kind of intrigued, and it looks like it's very horror-y. You know what I mean? There was a very horror vibe to it when she's on the train. So I was kind of intrigued. Do I care? No. When I see the 4 girls and they're quipping at each other, I'm like, this is probably I'm not gonna be into this. Like just the tone of that. But the horror stuff looked kind of cool. It seemed dark. I have no idea about the character. Can you guys is she like, is that what she does in the comics? She's like perceiving, she's like, what does she do? Is she like seeing different areas of time? Is she in the comics?
Yeah, she is powers. Powers are right, but it's just her being in the mix of the fighting it's never really been her shtick as being a superhero, I guess.
Right. I guess that's my main take is like she is actually a good actress. So like that is kind of intriguing to me. But other than that, like I didn't even watch the last Venom movie. I don't know if they've put out other stuff. I just don't care what Sony's doing. I'm with you on that, Phable. I don't trust Sony to do any Superman or Superman.
I'm actually really glad that I have you on for your opinion because of your distance from this stuff.
Right.
And you're taking it from a movie actor visual kind of standpoint. You're not really trying to connect characters. You're just trying to see if it impresses you when you watch it. And even you caught Dakota Fanning. What the hell is this about?
Right. Right. I was semi-intrigued though. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I'm not looking exactly. I'm not like, oh, who is that and all this. Like, I don't care. And that the editing didn't jump out to me. Like I said, I watched it right before we got on. I don't know. I don't know. The who is the dude? The Spider-Man looking guy. Is that not a Spider-Man type guy?
He's
sure
a
as shit looked like
character.
one.
He's a character in the comic books. I've never
He's
read that
just-
story that he's a part of. Go ahead, Link. Yeah, I think Link knows for sure.
No, yeah, he isn't. They're all characters, but it's just like how they're done. Like he never rocks some goofy, edgy, dark Spider-Man suit in the comics. You know, he just kind of wore clothes. But I guess you got to spice things up for the movie.
Yeah.
Right. Right. And you want to trick people like me into being like, oh, like Spider-Man's in this. Somebody's gonna think that's Spider-Man. I thought he's related to Spider-Man at least.
That's exactly what they did too. They were like tricking people. I never even thought of it that way. Like, oh yeah, people who don't know, right? They'll see the mask and they'll be like, oh, that's Spider-Man. You're absolutely right. Stu, Madam Web, are you a little bit excited?
Nah, not really. I feel sorry for the kid who's gonna get that. Who's like uncle is gonna buy him that costume, not knowing any better, and he's gonna get clowned on at school because he's got the Wreck-It Ralph Spider-Man. No, man, I think it honestly it's like indicative of the missed opportunity Sony really has to like create a really true Spider-Verse within all these movies, having them all be separate and not really joined in any way, and not involved with Spider-Man. I think was never going to work in the first place. And for them to go after like kind of random bottom of the barrel rogues gallery members like this, like he has such a great rogues gallery for all like I don't know how the rights work or who has the what contracts or whatever, but for all of the Spidey villains you could have made a movie about, you went with this. Like it's just wild. I never understood the decision from the jump. I think it's gonna, with only one, what is it? Deadpool's only MCU project we're getting next year. I think this is going to do further damage to superhero movies in general and to the MCU. I think people are it's going to further that fatigue and that that poor showing at the box office. So I don't think it's going to be good. I think it's going to do way more harm than good in the long run. But,
oh yeah, that's a good point, man. I never even considered that. Like, forget Marvel doing the damage to themselves. We got all these other companies making superhero content that could potentially further.
Because don't they have Craven coming sometime soon?
Yeah.
Like,
and not to mention all the other content. There's tons of it, man. I mean, a lot of it is good. Granted, like The Boys and stuff like that, it's all good. But you're right. If anybody does mess up, it doesn't have to be Marvel. It will just make it worse. It'll just make the fatigue grow. You're right.
It's leaked. The formula of superhero movies has leaked into other genres too. Like certain things are starting to feel like a superhero movie that aren't. Like Renfield. Yeah, I don't know if you guys saw Renfield, that Dracula movie with Nicolas Cage, but it's pretty much a Marvel movie with Dracula in it.
Yeah.
And it's cool. I mean, but it's cookie cutter.
Right. Missing Link, man. What did you think of this thing? Because I know you know way more than me about these characters. What'd you think, man?
I've said it before, but man, I got straight up 2004 Halle Berry Catwoman vibes watching this trailer. That is not a compliment.
And no, that is not a compliment.
Why? Like, why did someone decide to shoot it like that? Why did someone okay that decision? Why did they edit the trailer with the vibe of Halle Berry's Catwoman movie? I don't know. I do like some of the characters. Like I like Maddie Franklin. It's cool to see her on screen, but this seems like a cash grab. This retro. I wasn't from the Craven movie, but this is retroactively made me think, that movie's gonna be shit. I don't want to say shit, but I don't have.
Oh yeah.
The dude from playing like a young Ben Parker. So it's like all these chicks exist before Spider-Man. I know doesn't have to follow verbatim from the comics, but that's such a far deviation that doesn't seem like they've got an original story. It doesn't seem like they're coming from an original story standpoint. It's just, how can we get out these spider characters related to Spider-Man without including Spider-Man? And it just, like you said, with Venom, these characters don't work without Spider-Man. No matter what you try to, I mean, if they're doing like the Spider-Verse thing, maybe it's still kind of weak, but this seems like a cash grab. Totally. I'm not excited. If it's good and, it's just misleading, I'm all for it. But if the movie is indicative of what this trailer is put out, it's going to be bad. It's got to be bad.
Yeah, no, I agree with you completely. And that's a good point. They come out, there's about 4 tiers of Spider-Man content coming from one company, right? You got the what's his name? The guy who plays Spider-Man now?
Tom Holland.
Tom Holland MCU Spider-Man movies. Then you got Enter the Spider-Verse, the cartoons. Then you got these spin-off, not connected to shit, Spider-Man ancillary character movies. And then you got Spider-Man the video game over here.
Mm-hmm.
To varying degrees of quality, right? What? You're all under the same goddamn roof. All 4 of those things properties should be top tier. You know what I mean? I don't get how you make something like Enter the Spider-Verse and then freaking Morbius.
3 of the 4 of them are.
What?
Yeah. I mean, 3 of the 4 of them are top tier. There's one lagging behind.
What? Your MCU movies, they're not the greatest movies in the world, but they're way better than Morbius and way better than Venom and way better than, you know what I mean? These other things that you're doing on the side. Your video game is better than all of those other movies we just named, especially this Madam Web thing that you just dropped. The video game looks better graphically than the graphics in the goddamn trailer for Madam Web. I just don't understand this disjointed shit within one company. It's the same thing that Marvel's going through, the same thing that DC's going through. What is happening? How are your left hands not in tune with your right hand? You know what I mean? It's happening all across the board, and this is just the latest example of this. And Stu, you're right, man. The more I think about it, this is going to hurt things. It is. It's going to hurt things. I mean, we just had the Marvels, which looks like a freaking Oscar-winning production compared to this thing. So I don't know, man. I don't know. I think Sony needs to pump the brakes. I think they need to let their Enter the Spider-Verse thing do its thing. You know what I mean? Get its awards, expand that universe. You have great success there, and you're critically acclaimed. And you don't have to be connected to Marvel. You don't have to do the MCU.
Look, I wanna always find the positive in everything, even though I just bashed it. I'll say this movie does, I mean the trailer at least, and also I'm basing it off of watching Venom 2 since they're all under the Sony umbrella. This movie, based on the trailer, if we're following the trailer, it does feel like it'll be a good movie if I was to fold laundry on a Sunday afternoon.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Oh man, it's
a background movie. It's definitely a background movie.
It's just, I don't know, man. I don't know who's asking for this stuff, is what I'm saying ultimately.
No, Sony's asking for it because they want money.
But what I'm saying, but I just gave the example I gave because you have another avenue. If your deal with Marvel is that you get to keep the license because you got to put out some sort of movie content. Mm-hmm. Well, bro, you just put out one of the most groundbreaking 3D animation cartoons in our lifetime. This is Spider-Verse is a revelation of animation. And it's totally influencing all animation going forward. Yeah. You don't think so? Go watch the Ninja Turtles. Yep. Go watch everything else after Enter the Spider-Verse.
So good.
What are you doing?
Well, I mean, you got to look at it also, though. The 3 of the 4 that are doing well are allowed to use Spider-Man, and Sony isn't. That's the problem. And it also, you got to think about it. The people that are the creative forces, the teams making those, they're pumped up because they have Spider-Man. The people at Sony,
but
they know they're the redheaded stepchild.
They have arguably the Spider-Man of the future, the one that matters, Miles Morales.
Sony does?
Yes. Sony has Miles Morales. Like
they can use him in movies though. Like
they've used him in the Enter the Spider-Verse. That's
live action.
That's a film.
I would have
not live action.
I bet they can't, or they would. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what their deal is with Miles, but I know they've used him in a video game already, and they've bent the origin stories and all of that in those video games. They totally changed stuff. So they have that kind of leeway, at least. You know what I mean? But what I'm trying to say is they have the Spider-Man of the future in their pocket, and they're here wasting their time doing this nonsense.
If I had to guess, I would say they probably can't use them, or they would. You know what I mean? Because that's weird. Like, I don't know.
They're fatiguing their audience, and they're bankrupting their company.
But the thing is, I mean, I get the idea that, like, you know, Spider-Man is like that A player that can definitely elevate the franchise. But look, one thing that, if you know, especially in phase 1 in the MCU, when MCU was just getting its foot off the ground, and before it caught the notoriety it has right now, you know, there was a lot of skepticism. I don't know if you guys remember when Iron Man came out, because at the time he was considered a C or D, almost a D level character in fans' eyes, and then Robert Downey Jr. made that role his own, and he elevated that character. So it's almost like with the right creative team and the right director, you can take an obscure character and make them look. Guardians of the Galaxy did the same thing. That star-studded cast, basically, I was not even in comics, so I didn't even know who the Guardians of the Galaxy team was at the time when it came out, and they are a household name, merchandise and everything. So you can take. It's almost like I kind of feel sometimes when you take an A player, it sometimes sets unneeded expectations on a franchise. So you would think that because they're playing, you know, with a clean slate, you know, with characters that casuals might not know, they kind of would be more motivated to kind of make these into better films. But clearly that's not the case. Yeah.
Well, it's what Link said earlier. They are cash grabs. I do agree with Link on that point.
And the whole time constraint thing that one of you guys mentioned, how, you know, there isn't that issue with, you know, they gotta, because Sony's catalog of Spider-Verse characters and all that, they kind of have to set movies at a certain timetable in order to kind of retain those rights. So I'm sure that definitely has a part to play with it as well.
Absolutely. Yeah, man. Go ahead, Link.
Oh no, I was just agreeing.
Oh, okay.
Everybody in the chat, because I looked it up. It does look like Sony can. Like, they have plans in the works for a live action Miles Morales movie. So
okay.
So Screen Rant.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right, I got to get out of here, fellas. Good talking with y'all.
Oh,
Hyper, good meeting you, brother. Appreciate it.
At least you got the 2 topics in, man. I'm
absolutely. I'm gonna listen to the rest of the show in the car. Y'all have a good one.
Hell yes. Station, brother.
You too, brother.
Let's see. Madam Web trailer looks weird as hell. They should just do a Spider-Woman movie instead.
Isn't she in it though? Isn't Julia Carpenter in that?
Yeah. There's 3 Spider-Women in that movie.
Okay.
But not the one I want. Not Jessica Drew.
Yeah.
Agree with just making a Spider-Woman movie. Oh yeah, that would kill. That would do something, I think. Brian in the house station. Brian, how are you, my brother? Chill Out said, I can't get excited about any more spiders. It's hard for someone to top Spider-Punk and Spider-Pig, aka my pork chop. Pocan Joe in the house station. Pocan, how are you? Oh wow, this thing just jumped. Sorry if I skip your comments, guys. Amazing Spider-Man 210, Madam Web first appearance as an old lady hooked up to machines, etc. Can foresee the future. Okay, telling us the power set.
Okay.
You could argue even the dude in the trailer didn't rock that silly ass suit. Do we want Trophy Grace Venom or no? Topher Grace Venom. That's a hard one.
He doesn't fit the archetype though. If you know the origin of Venom, he doesn't fit that Eddie Brock archetype.
Yeah.
I think he had time. You know, he was cool for the moment. You know, but I'd rather see someone else. And I love Tom Hardy. I'd rather see someone else play Venom than Tom Hardy at this point.
If he just wasn't playing too much of a schmuck like he did in the second movie.
Oh yeah. Right on, Link. I agree. Include Spider-Man. Yeah, man. Never trust trailers. They're always better than the movies itself.
Are you telling me it's a downhill slide from there?
Yeah.
That's true. Go watch the Suicide Squad trailers. The first Suicide Squad trailers, way better than the movie itself.
The first one. I believe that.
Yeah.
First was
MCU can make a B actor, an A actor, but not even MCU can help the Inhumans. That's so true. Obviously, Sony has money to waste downplaying Marvel. I'm telling you, they must. And we're going to get into a quick topic about this kind of thing, this overexpenditure that these companies are doing. Have you guys ever seen a movie called Spookies? The Spider Lady in that movie would make an awesome Madam Web. No, but I'm going to go check it out. Hell yeah. All right. So let's get into some rapid fire, gentlemen. Like I said, there's plenty of topics this week. I couldn't really narrow it down, so I just picked two that we could get some stuff out of. These were, I think, the two most biggest topics. Would you guys agree?
Good
of
too,
the
man.
week?
Great choice.
Yeah, on my Instagram, Madam Web and Reed Richards. Yeah, some other stuff happened. And in this rapid fire, I'm not going round table. Just say if you got any thoughts on it, you say it. If not, we just roll on to the next subject. All right. So first up, Taika Waititi tells Business Insider he won't be involved in Thor 5.
Hallelujah.
Good. Sounds great.
Apparently he's got a bunch of projects, including a Star Wars movie. So if there was a fifth movie, which there haven't been confirmed, he's saying it right off, he probably won't be available to direct it. So yeah, any thoughts on that? Taika Waititi out of it.
Don't let the door hit your ass on the way out.
He's one of the biggest turns
like
from like
Topher,
somebody
bro.
from somebody
Say
that
that
I was
again?
into, and I was like, oh, I love him. I'm gonna keep it out for more. It's just one movie. That last Thor movie, he seemed to get a big head, but I don't know. I still think he's a guy to look out for, but I do other stuff. I'm more interested in what he does elsewhere. I don't want him doing more Thor.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed. I don't got much to
I feel like
add to that. Go ahead, Link.
no, I sentiments. It's like Topher Grace. It's like he had his moment. Let's see him do other things. I still respect him as a filmmaker. Like Verno said, I look forward to other things he does, but he's that last Thor movie was not it.
It'd be cool to see a horror movie. Like he would do a really gnarly horror movie. I would love that.
Yeah. You're right. Comedy guys always have good horror instincts. I don't know why. Comedy guys, they always got good horror. Sam Raimi's a bit of a comedian.
Right.
And look at his movies. Yeah.
Like Evil Dead, you mean? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. James Gunn announces Anna Nogueira as the writer to adapt Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow by Tom King. Nogueira is an actress turned playwright turned screenwriter who apparently wrote a treatment for a Supergirl movie already, starring, I think, the girl who played Supergirl in the CW shows. Not 100% correct on that.
The Flash.
Yeah, the Flash.
I think it was
right.
the Flash
Yes.
movie.
The Flash movie, yes. Yes. She already wrote a movie based on that, but they're not going with that. But they did hire her to do this Supergirl movie, which is big. I mean, James Gunn, DC, she's part of that new wave. Any thoughts on that, gentlemen?
Hell yeah. that book is that's the most I've ever disagreed with our friend Rockin' Robbie Billups about anything ever. Like he just dogged that run the whole time. That run is one of the most beautiful pieces of comic book. But what it is, for people that don't know, it's pretty much true grit in space. It's like the Mandalorian with Supergirl, where she's got this young person and they're going planet to planet trying to avenge this something, and they're fixing problems on each planet. So that could be a very, very cool show. Or movie. Yeah. Is it a movie or a show?
A movie.
Yeah. It could be great, man.
I'll take a wait and see.
I mean, if she was good enough, I don't know much about her, but if they liked what she did with the previous treatment, then I'll see what she does with this new stuff.
Yeah. In this one, I gotta say, in James Gunn, we trust, right? We gotta just trust the man's instincts. I don't know this woman from a hole in the wall. I don't know what her credits are, but he obviously thinks enough of her to put an entire Hollywood project on her that's probably going to cost $100 million. So she's got to be okay.
Yeah, his credentials speak for itself. So yeah, just the fact that he's on it on the project, like you said, that already instills some faith.
Oh yeah, Station Trev. So yeah, okay. So let's move on. Next one, U.S. Congressman Joaquin Castro is calling for a federal investigation into Warner Brothers for scrapping movies for tax purposes. I don't know if you guys saw this. Yeah, they want to pull Warner Brothers into Congress because they recently just shelved another movie, guys. They shelved Coyote versus Acme. This was supposed to be some sort of hybrid / live action cartoon movie in the vein of like a Roger Rabbit sort of. And they just shelved it. Nearly complete, just shelved it. As you know, they've already shelved another movie called Scoob, Holiday Haunt, which I don't know if anybody knew about that one, but that got shelved. That was nearly complete. And then, of course, everybody knows about the Batgirl, right? The one with Michael Keaton that they shelved maybe a year or two ago. And that movie had a budget of over $100 million. And of course, Warner Brothers is writing all of this shit off on the taxes, right? I mean, this is what they do when they shelf these movies. So yeah, they're calling them into Congress, man, to answer for this shit. They're thinking that they might be playing some games with the taxes. And any thoughts on this?
Yeah, listen, I actually heard about the Coyote movie because that actually starred John Cena, although it was supposed to star John Cena, and that actually got scrapped. Dude,
sounds awesome.
That's the thing, and the Batgirl movie got scrapped as well for tax purposes. So it's almost like you kind of wonder. It's like these kind of decisions, and these are all David Zaslav kind of moves. So what direction? It kind of gives you a question: what direction does DC have when they're just scrapping movies that are not even getting like to the big screen? So it's almost like it feels like they're very directionless at this point. So not so much in terms of the law aspect. I'm just more concerned about the DC overall direction aspect when they're just scrapping movies left and right. It kind of I could almost feel like the role. I can't imagine like people on the creative team like wanting to jump on a DC project knowing that it may never see the light of day.
All right. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Totally, man. Crazy.
If they are doing things like this, I think they should get into a little bit of trouble because this is the kind of thing that when people burn down houses for insurance money, this is that kind of thing.
Right.
And it does mess stuff up. I understand people do it for quick paydays or whatever, and I don't knock nobody's hustle. I'm not the insurance company. I don't give a shit. You know what I mean? But at the same time, you're messing it up for everybody. Guys. Yeah. This is one of those situations that Warner Brothers is finding themselves in. So if they are doing something like that, they need to stop. They need to cut it out.
Yeah.
Don't spend the money.
Karma.
If you're not ready to put it out. Which is what we were talking about earlier when I mentioned the spending money is crazy. Like these companies are just throwing away money. It's insane. Yeah. All right, so let's move on to the next one. The Hollywood Reporter says that Kang Dynasty director Destin Daniel Cretton will be stepping down as director, although he will continue work on developing Shang-Chi Part 2 and also be executive producer on the Wonder Man television show that has just gone back into production after the strikes were over.
Is that a Marvel thing? Wonder Man?
Yeah, Wonder Man. Yeah. And one of the reasons of him stepping down, at least a source says, is because of the shifting release date of Kang Dynasty due to the Jonathan Majors scandal. So whatever's happening with Kang Dynasty, it's making that movie shift, and all its creators are kind of like getting moved around because it might not work out. With that movie. I think that movie's in trouble, guys. But yeah, any thoughts on that?
Sucks. I mean, I don't. Shang-Chi was cool for what it was. I was kind of shocked when they handed him an Avengers movie, to be honest. I don't necessarily think he had earned it based off of Shang-Chi. I mean, you could debate that against the Russo bros getting handed off the Avengers movie. But I think Winter Soldier was fantastic. Like that's still a top tier movie. Shang-Chi was on that level, so it's like, it sucks, but hopefully they can find someone to fill his shoes.
Yeah,
or someone, or a job.
It looks like they're gonna have to find someone to fill his shoes, and also the head writer of the movie, because our next headline, Jeff Loveness, who wrote Quantumania and was supposed to write Kang Dynasty, is no longer working for Marvel. According to a source, Joanna Robinson, who's the author of MCU, The Reign of Marvel Studios, she says that it was confirmed to her that that head writer was let go because they're steering away from the Kang Dynasty movie. So there's, you know, 2 headlines this week that kind of tell you that movie, I don't know if it's even happening, guys.
Right.
Really, be honest with you.
My kind of thing is, dude, I hope they refocus and they don't just lose the Kang wherever they were going to go with it. Make it work. Take your time. What they did in Ant-Man didn't really work. I wasn't the biggest fan of Jonathan Majors' performance in that at all. They were talking yesterday, Rex and Robbie, about just Thanos and Kang. And if Kang had a mustache, he would have twirled it. You know what I mean? And it's like it didn't work as that. It was so much less Thanos. You know what I mean? Nuanced character, such a cartoon. But the potential of what they could do with him story-wise is awesome. So I hope they regroup and do something cool with it.
Yeah, but listen, all due respect to Jeff Loveness, I think he should stick to writing comics and not making movies. I did watch Quantumania, and I'm being literal. I'm not exaggerating. I did actually sleep during the mid act of that movie, and the thing is, it almost shows how inconsequential it was because I still got the gist of the movie, even though I saw the beginning and the end. I still got what the movie was about. So it almost felt like and this is like just an overarching thing that I've noticed with MCU. They focus a lot on the VFX and all that stuff, and then it seems like the substance is kind of lacking in some of these.
Not even the visual effects, brother. Not even the visual
effects.
Well,
yeah, I mean, yeah. I'm not.
Victoria Alonso was in charge of that. Her ass got the boot.
Well,
I'm getting flashbacks to MODOK as well right now.
That was the worst thing about that movie to me. That's the movie that I use as an example of like when CG is just terrible. You could tell it was 3 actors in a room with a giant green screen. And then watch like a Guardians of the Galaxy movie and there's sets and all this. They actually cared about it. Nobody cared about that movie the way that they should have. And they built it up like it was going to be a big game changer and all that.
Yeah, they sure did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
nope.
If it doesn't come out, it's okay. I'm how do I say this? A lot of the stuff coming out is stuff that I never asked for. And I'm talking about across the board, whether it's the Marvels, whether it's this thing, that thing, you know what I mean? It's like a bunch of stuff that's like, why? You know? And I get it. Maybe this is all due to the strike. The strike did last 118 days, which can put a considerable dent in projects and things like that. But
it's the negative side of Guardians of the Galaxy. We got all these people in a room. Hey, they did it with Guardians. We can do it with anybody. So
that's what Link always says. Link says the same thing. They got this big head of theirs once they made Iron Man, and you know these characters like Hyper was saying that weren't household names. All of a sudden they made them household names, and they thought they could knight everybody. They thought they could king me everybody. Like it just didn't work out that way.
I wouldn't want. I don't know. It's like if they toss this project, it's like the next. If they were to just toss King Dynasty, the next project's going to be rushed. You know, so it's like, I feel like they should just play out King Dynasty, recast if they have to. But I agree with Verno. Like this. He's got a lot of potential. Maybe they haven't done him justice, but as a villain, Kang's got a lot of potential to really be a bigger threat that that I don't think they've really shown. So I would just say recast him if there's that much bad publicity around Jonathan Major's name, and just continue on with the story that you were telling. Because it's like if they go to Doom, talking about being rushed. I know some people want to see Doom. If Doom's the next villain, he's going to be rushed, and then people will be pissed off. So it's like, stay the course, make some changes, and just ride it out. You know, they're going to be worse off if they just try to rush to the next big villain.
Right. And this is just to circle back to the beginning. That's what makes me a little nervous about the Pedro Pascal casting, is because they don't seem like they want to like really take their time with this next one. Let's do it quicker. You know what I mean? I don't think they're going to spread Pedro out for 10 years in the way that they did Robert Downey Jr. to make it what it was.
Yeah, make no mistake about it. Marvel is in crisis mode. And all their moves and everything that we're seeing, from things becoming TVMA, right? We just saw Echo, the first Marvel TVMA show. Yeah. Meanwhile, a year before that, they were like, we don't know if we're bringing Daredevil to Disney Plus. It's like, come on, guys. Like, what happened in a year? You know, obviously something happened. But anyway, let's move on from there, man. YouTube rolls out a new rules for content created or containing artificial intelligence.
Ooh.
Yeah. So if you're a creator and you use artificial intelligence in your content will now be flagged with a special something that says it has AI in it.
Good, I think.
And what's funny about that is YouTube is making an AI program to find the AI programs.
Good.
But yeah, and you know, so this will help public figures and IP holders because people would love to do a AI version of whatever lady or whatever man and maybe have them do commercials for them and stuff like that. You know how crazy that this stuff can get. It's a Pandora's box with AI. But YouTube is clamping down early and saying if you're making stuff with that stuff, you're gonna be tagged. And if you don't admit to it, like if you don't say that you're using it, like you lie about it, you upload it anyway, you know, all the regular stuff happens with it. Banned, all that kind of crap.
Demonetized.
Yeah, demonetized, all that stuff. So I'll just say yes. Hell yeah. AI has to be controlled, it has to be policed, it has to be put down, and we got to hold it down as much as possible. If we want to continue to enjoy the stuff we continued made by real flesh and blood human beings, which is my favorite kind of content. People, made by real people. You guys got any thoughts on this?
Well, listen, my thing is like I find that the stigma with using AI seems to have gotten a lot less than it was like a year ago. So it almost feels like at this point, it kind of feels like not so much a norm, but like you do see people using AI not to a full extent, but to some extent. So it's almost like just admit it at this point, because it's not like you're not the only one that's probably using AI. So like I know that some people feel like AI almost cheapens their how people perceive their creativity, but it really depends on your extent of using AI. Like AI does have benefits as long as it doesn't overtake your channel. I think you definitely can. AI can be very productive, especially as content creators in terms of script writing and all the other stuff. Like if you're using Chat GPT and that kind of stuff. But really, like you said, you kind of have to rein in on your use of AI, because you don't want to basically. People watch YouTube for the actual person on camera. You don't want the AI to basically be the star of the show.
Right.
For me, it depends on what you're using it for. The biggest thing that I'm thinking of where it's like good, and it's probably the reason why they're doing this, is for the deep fakes. And we got President Obama on the panel with us talking shit about, you know what I mean? You can do some weird stuff, and that's coming soon.
Sometimes President Obama.
You broke up.
Say
there
again? You got cut off.
No, I said sometimes President Obama is in our chats.
Yeah. He's a big BSD fan. But also, like, at the same time, there's little bits of AI that I just heard about recently where you could be doing a show, some kind of show, and you're reading off a teleprompter and it's keeping your eyes so it's locked on and people can't tell. Do I need to divulge that?
Yeah.
Does there need to be a banner? And then I don't think it's there yet. You guys remember when I was getting way into that AI app and I'm sending you guys, look what I made. I'm like making all this crazy shit.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's there yet, but say I make my own thumbnails. What if I just want to do an AI thumbnail to save me some time? If it gets to the point where it's cool enough, do I have to, like, what kind of flag? Is it going to be like I don't know. Is it going to be a subtle, like, hey, just so you know, is it going to explain what the AI is? Or is it, so maybe
I'm sure it'll have, I mean, whatever they use to differentiate inappropriate for children content kind of banner, whatever that looks like. I'm probably sure they'll just add a AI assisted created or something, AI assisted, or I don't know, something like that. Would that make a difference for you as a content viewer if you saw that flag and say, oh, AI made this? This has got to be crap. I mean, would you really care?
That's what I'm saying. That's why it almost needs to be for only certain things of AI. If it's helping me write the script, why do you care? You know what I mean? Like, that shouldn't matter. If pretty much just the deep fake thing, if you're taking people's identities, that's what you need to be warned about. I maybe there's other stuff I'm not thinking of that they are worried about. But I don't know.
Yeah, no, I think you hit the nail on the head. I think that's exactly what's on their mind, is using maybe celebrities to promote your content, and it's not them or whatever it is, and they're not getting paid for something, whatever it is, because if you have monetized content and you put a AI Jennifer Aniston in your video, I mean, she maybe due some money due to her contract in the way AI is, YouTube might owe her some money. Not
Right.
maybe the content creator, but YouTube as a company might owe her some change, and they're trying to avoid that, so
I can see that point. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Let's move on. Comixology is officially merging into the Kindle app. As of December 4th, there will be no more Comixology, guys. If you want to read your comics, your graphic novels, your manga, you're going to have to open the Kindle app to do so, which is sort of a sad thing, right? Comixology was a place for a lot of people to read their comics. It was a culture around it, I think. People gravitated to it because it was outside of the Marvel DC publishing wheel, It's an independent third-party company that gathered a bunch of books. But yeah, they're finally done December 4th. And here's something interesting, though, guys. 93% of their readers that read comics, novels, and all that were already reading them on the Kindle. I didn't know that. Yeah, so 7% of people were using Comixology out of the total amount of people that read that kind of stuff, which I found very interesting. So it kind of makes sense.
No
for them to
way.
go. Yeah.
If the numbers are that, if there's that big of a discrepancy between numbers, man, yeah, absolutely, you can't blame them for that. But I mean, hopefully, I don't know. I didn't use Comixology much myself. Admittedly, I do use Kindle app more, but I'm curious to see if there's any difference in the reading features between Comixology and the Kindle app, and if there is, will they roll some of those Comixology features into the Kindle app? Because I heard people enjoy the reading experience from Comixology, so it'd be cool to see if they would.
I heard that the Comixology app got a lot worse towards the end of its life. It got a lot worse as far as the way you navigate it and stuff. That's what I heard. I'm like you. I've never used it myself, but I know it was a thing for a while for a lot of people. Especially in the digital versus physical arguments, right? Like we've always had these arguments of digital, physical. People always would cite Comixology as an example of why you should go digital in the first place, right? So it's a company that meant something that is now gone. So any thoughts? Comixology, were you guys into Comixology at all?
So I mean, I do have a good share of comics on Comixology, and see, the thing is, this I kind of made this point I think a year or two ago. When it comes to like digital services like Comixology or like Marvel Unlimited, people have to understand, when you're buying a comic, you're not actually owning the comic. You're just owning the license to basically use that comic. So you never know. Like basically, it's based on the company's whim in terms of, like, in this case, you said Comixology is merging with Kindle. So that's why even like for like streaming service like Disney Plus, I still have physical copies of movies that technically I could watch on stream, but it's just like you just never know in terms of service, change in service agreements and all that.
Yeah,
it gets very murky. So, and look, I'm a PC gamer as well, and I play on Steam, and even those, I'm completely digital, and I know that if Steam folds, a lot of my library is just gone.
Yeah.
It is a bit of a murky situation when you're starting to deal with the whole physical versus digital aspect of things.
I had that same kind of thing. Like, I kind of have to do whatever they tell me to do, kind of thing. Like, we're in that kind of boat with these streaming, owning, not owning kind of thing, right? Because, like you said, they could take it away whenever they want to. The terms of service can change whenever they feel like it, and your library can disappear for whatever reason. And it definitely disappears when you don't pay the monthly bill, right? So that. But like with my digital movies, I have a lot on Apple. Right now, I don't see Apple going nowhere.
Right.
So that library will probably stay with my lifetime. Right. So I'm content with that. But for other things, for other services that may not have that kind of concrete firm foothold in this business where they might disappear. Yeah, that's a reality. And it did cross my mind. Man, if Apple does this, then I lose all my movies.
Right.
And I gotta buy movies.
There was one, I think it's Movies Anywhere. It's been like, I don't know who owns it. I don't know if you guys do, but it went through like 3 or 4 different iterations.
Yeah.
My digital movies kept moving with it. So,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So far, it was like, I didn't get burned there. I will say, and I missed part of what you were saying, like, is the service Comixology, it's moving over to Kindle, and if you have Kindle.
I don't know if there's going to be a Comixology section within the Kindle app.
Right.
I'm thinking yes. I'm thinking there will be a Comixology portion of the app.
And they had done
branded.
A couple years ago, they had merged with Amazon, and it was like if you had Amazon Prime, you had it. But what I was going to say is what was cool about it is you did get a lot of like cool comics that were free. If you had, I think even if you just had Amazon, you could read a lot of cool comics on Comixology.
Yeah.
There's some dope ass Jeff Lemire stuff, like a lot of good work.
I could imagine that the Kindle app will have sort of like what a HBO, what a Disney Plus has, where it's like the Marvel section, the Star Wars section, or whatever, the Comixology section. That's where you're going to get all your manga, your art, your illustrated art, you know what I mean? Graphic novel stuff.
The hub.
But yeah, I mean, rest in peace, Comixology. What can we say? Right? I think it's something that happens with the times. It's just something that happens. It's not anything, nobody messed up. Right? I'm just saying it's part of business.
Yeah.
All right. What If season 2 trailer dropped this week, guys? Did you guys get a chance to check out the What If season 2 trailer, man? Any thoughts on that?
I'm excited, bro. I know some people were kind of like ho-hum about the first season of What If, but I really enjoyed it, and I feel like I could see why people had grievances with the first season. They're kind of like some of the stories where really that's the What If story you're gonna go with when there's so many other exciting ideas out there, especially it being animated. But the season 2 trailer, it seemed like more of what was lacking in like these crazy ideas actually taking place instead of like what if
Iron Man was left-handed?
yeah, completely butterfly. But bro, I really enjoy What If, and there's a lot of potential in that show, untapped potential in that show they haven't reached yet. So I'm excited.
Yeah, guys, excited? Anybody else?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of look at like the What If series. It's almost like it feels like a creative sandbox in terms of you can take these characters and put them in unconventional situations that might not actually fit in the in the actual MCU narrative, but it still gives for great storylines. It's almost like it gives the people that are writing the scripts and all that almost like a creative outlet. Like, oh, it would be kind of cool to do this versus that, right? So it's kind of, I'm looking forward to it just in terms of the concept that they're going to bring out for each episode.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I was kind of slow to come around to What If, but I ended up falling in love with it. Like Link said, some of the episodes were some of them were pretty weak. And I feel like that Peggy Carter one that they opened up with, for me, I watched it a couple times. I could never get into it. I thought it was a bad way to open it up, and I was turned off from the get-go. There's some fire ones. That Doctor Strange one is awesome. But what I'm excited about is like pick the ones that like, okay, let's continue that Doctor Strange story. And then the ones that didn't work, we can go away. What if we didn't do that? Let's stay away from that. But the animation is next level in a completely different way than Spider-Verse. It's so innovative and different. And it's like, it looks insane. That took me a second to kind of grow on me too, but I adore it.
I am absolutely loving this. That Spider-Verse to me kicked off this innovation. Like when Pixar came out, Pixar set the standard for what those movies should look like. And Dreamwave and DreamWorks or whatever the name is, that everybody did Pixar, right? So when Spider-Verse came out, they showed these guys, you don't have to, you have a computer. It's an open canvas. Why are you trying to match reality? Don't match reality. Bring art to life. And that's what I think these movies are doing lately. They're bringing true artistic concepts to a third dimension, which is awesome. Awesome.
Hell
yeah.
What's that?
All right, just a few more here, man. We almost got through them. Awesome. Rob Liefeld's infamous Captain America original art. You know the one I'm talking about. Yeah,
The double D.
Sells for $132,000 at Heritage Auctions.
Wait, it's sold for that much?
Sold 132 grand, bro. The original art for that. The OA. Damn. That's my comment. Damn. That's all I gotta say.
What else can you say, bro? Like,
Isn't that crazy?
I mean, it's fallen into making fun of Liefeld over the years at some point, but we often forget that Liefeld did his thing, bro. When he came on the scene, there was nothing like him at the time. So it's cool to see him. You know, I respect that. I respect what he did early on in his career, how he kind of, you know, he didn't go to any classic art school. He was just a fan who was really passionate and got his foot in the door.
Oh, yeah.
And you know, he's not the best artist, but he had his moment, bro. And he definitely helped comics at a certain point in time. So it's cool to see him getting, you know, especially because he's become the butt of jokes a lot over the last few years. It's cool to see that there's still some respect on his name. You know, $100,000 for a piece of original Liefeld art. That says a lot.
Well, it goes to tell you exactly what Verno said earlier, that if you go into the comments of anything, it's usually the negative people that will outshine the positive people in those comments. And I guess I guess this is what it means with Rob Liefeld as well. All you hear is them making fun of him. Well, guess what? There's somebody out there with $132K to blow, and they decided to buy a Rob Liefeld OA of his ugliest drawing that he's ever done.
Listen, let's be real. Like the person that bought it, I think we know why. I would highly doubt, I don't know this guy who bought it, but I would highly doubt they bought it because they had an artistic appreciation for it. It is very much so that art, that cover took a life on its own, and it basically became a meme, almost like the Batman slapping Robin situation.
Yeah.
If you were to own a piece of that original, so it's almost like it almost became a pop cultural kind of situation, where to the point that even Sam Wilson, there was a Sam Wilson cover that Rob Liefeld literally did the same exact homage to his because he's self-aware that cover does get crap done. So I think it's more from that cultural relevance.
I mean, it could be a Rob Liefeld super fan too, because it could be like, you know what I mean? I even want to own this because everybody talks about this.
Well, that's the thing.
Have the OA?
It has the notoriety to it.
Totally, dude. I would. Yeah, how cool would that be? To be like, bro, you know that one? You know that Batman meme where he spit slaps Robin? I've got the print. Yeah.
I got the OA, man. The original.
It's also like, you know, I would love to own that Gary Busey Wolverine cover that people also, you know, the one with the COVID bat in the background.
Yeah. Oh, man. Well, God bless Rob Liefeld. That's all I got to say for that, man. Let me see. I probably got like 3 more real quick ones. Let me see. Hold on, guys. Oh, Robert Kirkman reveals that Stephen Ewan will be playing the Century in an upcoming Thunderbolts movie. So he went on this podcast with David Fincher, right, the artist, on this YouTube show, and he basically said, yeah, my buddy Stephen Ewan, he just called me and said he's doing a fitting for the Century. And he's like, and then he said, I mean, am I letting it out the bag? I don't know. I don't work for Marvel. I don't give a shit. Oh my God.
He's like Kevin that.
Feige must be like, boo! Steve coming out of his ears. But yeah, so Stephen Ewan definitely in as the Century, it seems. I don't think they would lie about that. So any thoughts on that?
Kirkman definitely knew what he was doing, bro.
There you go. I knew Link had something to say. Stephen Ewan sort of getting into that Chris Pratt part, gang, the Chris
I was thinking
Pratt
that there's a lot of Stephen Ewan out there.
Yeah, the Pedro Pascal. He's
one of the 7 actors in Hollywood right now.
Yeah. It's the new rap. What do you call it? The Rap Pack or the Team Pack? I don't know what they're called, but yeah, that's the new Hollywood gang right there. Those guys, they're in everything.
I will say, I don't know if you guys saw the Netflix series Beef. He was really he was really great in that role. So I'm taking a wait and see approach with this casting because I'm just gonna say interesting. I don't want to, like I said, I don't want to completely discount it altogether, but I'm just taking a wait and see approach on how this thing shakes out.
Oh yeah,
it's got me thinking though. Don't you feel like when Marvel is now doing the casting style that DC was doing? When Marvel first came in, it was a lot of unknown faces. Robert Downey Jr. we knew, but then DC came in and they picked all these big stars to fill the roles, or big, well-known names. Like Marvel's definitely going that route. And it kind of reflects that they're not being overly patient about it. They're like, we just need to get big names. They're going to more traditional. That is kind of iffy and scary.
Yeah. I mean,
I think
I like Steven Yeun, so no, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say I think like the counter to their movies, because in the past, they had the Midas touch, so they could cast anybody, almost anything, and it was gonna be a hit. But because their movies haven't been the hits they're used to, that's the balance. They gotta bring in recognizable names to get people to come see these.
And it's
characters
because
who are.
You can't count on the Century to sell a movie because until like a year and a half ago, I didn't know who the hell that was, and almost nobody in the general public knows who he is, but they know who they've seen The Walking Dead.
Yeah, absolutely. And for us fans, it's an interesting casting, right? Because he's not traditionally an Asian character in the comic books. He's blonde headed too, right? From what I know, he's blonde hair down, long locks and stuff. So it'd be interesting to see what a Steven Yeun Century would be. I would love if they did give him long blonde hair. That would be awesome. Dude,
it's gonna take a bit of eye adjustment.
You look good, dude.
When he transforms, it's like a Super Saiyan thing. His hair turns blonde and shit. But I don't think he's gonna be playing the Bob Reynolds character per se, because they've got that new Century mini-series coming out. And, from the premise, we've already been told that a bunch of different people are going to have the powers of the Century. I think they're going to use that as a point to establish that, hey, anybody could have the powers of the Century. And so I don't think he's going to be playing Bob Reynolds per se, but he will be playing a new character as the Century.
Oh, yeah.
If you're following The King in Black, now I'm just wondering if Jeffrey Dean Morgan's going to be cast as Null.
Jeffrey Dean Morgan? I don't know, maybe we'll see.
I like it.
All right, so moving on. Last thing. Yeah, I'm gonna make it the last thing. I was gonna talk about the Garfield trailer, but I don't think nobody cared.
Guy's adorable.
Playing Garfield. There you go.
It was
another role for Pratt.
Yep. and Samuel L. Jackson.
And Samuel L. Jackson's in that movie. Also, there's a cool little Batman cartoon that's coming out on Amazon Prime.
Yeah,
December 8th. That stars Damian Wayne, the Robin, as we know, but this time he's like dressing up like Batman and he's gonna go save his dad or something like that. It looks freaking awesome. The animation looks great.
Real quick on that, dude. Warner Brothers is the one. I love Warner Brothers animated DC movies. They're so good, they're so serious. A lot of times I'll watch them like, why would a kid like this? This is so serious. This is the opposite of that. But also Warner Brothers, they have just stuck with that old animation forever. And it's like, I respect it. I love it. It's nostalgic, but it's cool to see them, first of all, not doing something with HBO. I'm kind of confused that they partner really strong with them. So they're doing something with Amazon.
You're right.
So it's cool.
Yeah, no, it looks great. I'm gonna definitely watch it. But
that's them. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
No,
you're on a delay, Link. Don't worry about it. Go for it, brother.
Thank you, fellas. But them partnering with Amazon is part of them trying to get out of that tax thing they were doing, where they canceled a bunch of movies and projects, and so some of those projects initially they sold off to Amazon. Like there's I think it's called Batman the Cape Crusader. Initially they said it was canceled. They was being made for HBO Max. They canceled it, but then they sold it to Amazon. Same thing as My Adventures with Superman. Supposed to come out HBO Max. They canceled it. They sold it to Adult Swim. So I think some some of these projects are leftovers of shit they canceled for tax purposes.
You know what that tells me? That tells me we ain't got enough money for none of that because James Gunn is spending all the rest of our money. So
Yeah.
all this other shit got to go other places.
I don't know. It feels like Warner Brothers needs to hire accountants or something. Is there just one guy just
Yes.
doing a TurboTax software in that company or something? I don't know. What's
I'm
going
telling you, bro. You 100% correct on that one. All right, last thing. Quick. Marvel announces a new Ghost Rider title coming out in March of 2024. Basically one of those renumber jobs that they always been doing for the last 2 or 3 years or even longer. Renumber jobs. But this time it's gonna be a new Ghost Rider, guys. It's not gonna be Danny Ketch. It's not gonna be Johnny Blaze. It's gonna be a whole new character. I don't know if it's gonna be a woman, a man. I don't have those details. All I can tell you is that it's still gonna be written by Benjamin Percy. So this is still him. This is still his book. He's just creating a new Ghost Rider. And the artist will now be Danny Kim, which I'm not familiar with. Supposedly he's a young artist, up and coming. Danny Kim. So he's going to be the artist of this book. And Ghost Rider 21, which comes out this December, will be the last issue of this current run of Ghost Rider, which has been great. I've loved it. I've loved the covers from Bjorn Barons. I've loved the Cale New covers. I've loved the story that Benjamin was telling. Percy was telling with Ghost Rider, that villain, that Smog motorcycle looking dude with the smog. I love that character as a villain for Ghost Rider. I think he's been doing a good job. So kind of excited for that. Guys, any thoughts on Ghost Rider? You guys are fans of Ghost Rider at all?
It kind of feels, I mean, especially now we just got a new Punisher. It feels like Marvel's kind of going back to that Marvel Now imprint back in like mid 2010, 2014 when, although back then they were actually just almost doing swapping roles where you had Jane Foster Thor, Sam Wilson Captain America, and then the rise of Kamala Khan as a new Miss Marvel. So it kind of feels like, I don't know if Marvel's kind of going in that well where they want to basically create some new characters using recognizable, titles like properties like Ghost Rider, Punisher. People know who those are, but they don't know who this new character that's going to be dawning and especially with the Punisher. So it feels like they're using the title to sell the books, but they want to also bring up these new characters as, I guess, new intellectual properties in Marvel.
Yeah, I mean, you always got to come something new. I don't know if I like the mantle passing too much these days lately. It worked for Miles, maybe worked a little for Gwen, and maybe Wonder Girl or whatever her name. A few characters it works for, but the mantle passing, and I get why they do it, right? Mm-hmm. We understand why they're doing it. They got to keep this IP alive and at the same time refreshing. Because even though, with Miles, he's the perfect example. So many of our generation were like, oh, they made a new Spider-Man. Why? And then, 10 years later, all the kids love him. Right? And now you know why. Now you know why they did it in the first place.
And the comics is where they get to play around that and test those ideas and see what works. And if it works, go from there. So,
well, the thing is, like people also ask the question, the new Punisher, like because he's not Frank Castle, why didn't Marvel call something else, like call that title something else? Well, because Punisher has that cachet to it. They know that Marvel knows that when you put Punisher, people will buy it. They're not. When you put a brand new IP title, it's gonna take a lot. It's gonna take some getting used to. So there's just some stock behind some of those titles that Marvel just. But my issue is they shouldn't abuse it too much to the point that it almost feels watered down.
Oh yeah, I agree 100%. That's my feeling on this Ghost Rider thing as well. I think Ghost Rider's due maybe for a new Ghost Rider, maybe. They haven't it's not like a Madam Web situation here. It's not a Spider-Verse situation with Ghost Rider. We don't have 100 Ghost Riders, right? We probably have about maybe 3 or 4 of them, maybe.
No, we actually have quite a bit. We just don't.
How many Ghost Riders? All right, put me on, because I don't know. Tell me how many Ghost Riders we got.
Like I know during the Jason, I think it was the Jason era one, there was a Japanese Ghost Rider. There was Alejandro Jones, although I think she did get killed off, I think during the King in Black I think, I don't know if she came back or not, but Alejandra Jones, like the Hispanic Ghost Rider, and then obviously Danny Ketch, Johnny Blaze, and then there are some other offshoot Ghost Riders that don't really have their own solo, but they are actually in the Ghost Rider mythos. So you'd be surprised. There actually is quite a bit of Ghost Riders. It's just that you don't get the same equal spotlights on those Ghost Riders.
I gotcha. Yeah, because I know about the one with the not the Corvette, the muscle car. What's his name?
Robbie Reyes.
Robbie Reyes. Know about him. But from my, because I left when Danny Ketch was getting started. I left comics originally when Danny Ketch was getting started. In the meantime, all I've ever heard was of Robbie Reyes in the in between time. But you're telling me there was more than just Robbie Reyes.
Oh yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, hey man, Benjamin Percy, I think has been doing a good job. I'm gonna continue pulling Ghost Rider. I think that they got a good team over there. But and I'm not too sour on it being a new Ghost Rider, to be honest with you. I know people are probably like, you know what I mean? Renumbering, whatever. But I think it's all right.
It's between the old and the new. Like, I jumped into comics right when you did, Phable. And for me, a couple years ago, or like maybe 3-4 years ago now, I understand why people that have been in the game for a while get frustrated, but it's so nice to be like, oh, this is a new story I can jump on with an IP that I know, and I grew up with that guy, but let's jump into something fresh.
Yeah, everybody was all the older heads were dissing the 2019 Marvel, because Marvel did a reboot in 2018, I believe, where they started everything number one. Captain America, Captain Marvel, Avengers, everything started number one. That's when I got on board with collecting comic books, and everybody was complaining about that era. But for me, it was like, this is perfect. Everything's new. Everything's starting again. So, I mean, listen, sometimes it's hard to see yourself growing out of something until you do. Right? If that makes any sense. And it just does. Sometimes you just grow out of it, and it's okay. I mean, you have so much that has already come out that you could enjoy and go back to. And it's not to say that they'll never revisit your era again. I'm a Transformers fan. I had to endure 20 years of Michael Bay films and everything freaking attached or associated or being
designed. Fan, so I'm kind of empathizing with you on that. Well.
Everything designed around his aesthetic. Yeah, everything had to be Bumblebee focused. I had to deal with that, but guess what? Now they're going back to my time. Now they're going back to the G1 with Danny Warren Johnson with Transformers for Image Comics and stuff like that. So you know what I mean? Sometimes you just gotta go grow out of something, and you can leave it alone when it changes, because it will inevitably change, especially if it's an IP that's been around more than 30 years. It has to refresh.
Okay, well, it's funny. I think we, like, based on the way you timed yourself, I think we almost collected around the same time, because I kind of got back in 2018, right around the time when Marvel was doing, like you said, those reboots.
Yeah.
I didn't know about these reboots. Like I said, it was just the timing of it when I got back in the hobby. And the two titles that I actually had on my pull list that I had no idea was going to be a huge success was Donny Cates' Venom and Al Ewing Immortal Hulk.
Yeah,
dude. No clue that but those were actually phenomenal. Like, at least the early issues were phenomenal. So for people to kind of crap on like the later models, there's a lot of hidden gems in there if you look hard enough.
No, I think that era was actually really good, because you got the Venom, like you said, you got the Immortal Hulk. Not to mention, we also got oh my gosh, it was so good. Damn it, it'll come to me in a little bit. But we got a few what I consider classic runs. Donny Cates' Venom, I think, is gonna go down.
Both those are great examples. And Immortal Hulk, that's like the Hulk story for a long time, I think.
Yeah. Oh, Jonathan Hickman's House of X. Yeah, House of X, Power of X.
That's why
came out around that time. You might love it or hate it, but Kelly Thompson's Captain Marvel was pretty decent. At least the first 20 issues of that, 30 issues of that were pretty good.
Thompson, hell yeah.
Yeah, Kelly Thompson. Yeah, it's a good era for me, man. All you old fans, I know you guys were like, God damn it, they doing this again. But it is what it is, and that's what happens with IP that's been around a long time. You know what I mean? I love Garfield. When I was a kid, oh my God, the comic strip of Garfield, that was my life. I loved it. The cartoon.
I got this from the library.
I loved it. Ask me if I've seen any of the Garfield movies. I have not.
The live action, I don't think I've seen it.
Yeah, I have not seen any of them. You just grow out of stuff, man. But yeah, that's our news, man. Thank you, everybody, for your comments. I'm sorry I couldn't get to the chat. That rapid fire, man. I knew I just had to get through it. I couldn't go through comments for the rapid fire. But thank you if you guys left a comment, and thank you, my panel, man, for all your great insight. We got through 15 topics in less time than it took us to get through 3 topics last week.
Efficiency, I guess.
Tell me what. So I think I'm going to keep the rapid fire segment going.
Oh yeah, it was good.
But it won't be 15 rapid fires. You know what I mean? It'll probably be like 5 or something on a week with it. Because the average news week, I think there's about 2 or 3 solid stories you can talk about, and then the rest are just little mini headlines that you can just have a quick thought on. So I think we're going to do that going forward. But yeah, thanks again, everybody. But the show's not over yet. Stick around, guys. The best part for me, is the show's namesake, Blame Phable. We call it The Blaming, man. What's the blaming? That's just a glorified show and tell. We call it The Blaming because you might blame us for that hole in your wallet. And you go, Hyper Combo, why did you show that goddamn comic, that Venom Donny Cates #1? Jesus Christ, I got to go on eBay now and pay double. It's all your fault.
Stoking the flames.
You. So let me just play this real quick because I love to play this.
Why don't I own this? Why don't I own this?
All right, man. So I'm going to start with myself, fellas, because I have only one thing to show off this week. Didn't get any comics or anything. I've been on a kind of hiatus. If you've been following me on Instagram, follow me on the channel, you know that I've kind of pumped the brakes on comics for the last few weeks. I did pick up some last week, mostly variants and things that I have wanted because I do collect these variant sets, and I just need a couple more issues to finish it. So I got those kind of things. But that's about it. But I did get a figure this week, and it's a pretty damn cool figure, I think. So Transformers does these crossovers with different IP. They've done one with Back to the Future. They've done one with Ghostbusters. They've done one with X-Men. They've done a bunch of these. And just recently, they dropped their latest one with the Universal Monsters. So they basically did a Frankenstein Transformer called Frankentron. Pretty cool. He looks good. He's got a nice. He's got that bolt that like. It's
I think I saw this on your post, right?
Yeah. Definitely check it out on my Instagram. But the cool thing about this is not only the figure, which I'll show you because you can slide them out. Yeah, it's got the slip, guys. It's a figure with a slip. But yeah, nice figure here. But the cool part is that it's like an old cassette.
Oh wow.
An old VHS. And they did rewind it. Hyper. They rewinded the video.
So at least no fees. You won't get any fees.
Yeah, big old VHS. I love this. I'm not a big Universal Monster fan, to be honest with you. Not a big Frankenstein, whatever. But it's still cool as hell, right? Like it's still cool. Transforming crossover with Universal Monsters, and it matches my Draculus, which came out 2 years ago. So now I got Dracula and Frankenstein, man. So I know naturally it's probably the Mummy or the Wolfman is coming, and you know I'm definitely going to be picking.
Well, now you have to get the whole set at this point since you already.
Yeah, come on. What collection? No, I do.
Even though it's only 2, you're already in deep at this point.
Anybody want me to skip them for the blaming?
I just grabbed some shit. I got you. I'm here.
Right. So we'll go with you next, and we'll end it off with our guest, man. So Verno, what do you got for the blaming?
I was digging around. I'm like, dude, I haven't been collecting nearly as much, but I still like to show off the stuff that I have. So this is just one of the figures that I can't sell. I keep on saying I should probably sell this thing one day.
I'll give you $20.
Yeah.
I'll give you $20.
This is the first. This is a Hot Toys. I think it's from Civil War. This is the first one where they started actually making it with metal.
Damn,
Where there's like the
dude.
legs are metal. You could like kill a homeless man with this if you wanted to, or
And he's
anybody.
got all the points.
Kill anybody.
You could still articulate
Heck
good.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He moves around. He lights up. He dances. He moves. It's got a really, really, really nice. I wish I had Robert Downey Jr. head sculpt too that you can pop on.
Oh, nice.
But getting this neck off to
Wow.
get that in is a pain in the ass.
That's
But,
beautiful, dude.
That and I figured I'll just show a couple of the horror ones since that's what I'm more into these days, baby.
Man.
Freddy up in this. This is Sideshow, which is the distributor that distributes Hot Toys, but they make their own 1/6 scale figures. They do a lot of like horror and more comic book accurate stuff. So he's pretty cool. He's pretty groovy.
That's
And
awesome, dude.
And the
Oh,
sweater is the
yeah.
actual fabric?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
And I'll show one more. Just because if I'm going to show Freddy, I might as well show Jason.
Nice.
Want me to show her off? I'll show her off too, babe. Give me that
Who
baby.
you got? Who you got?
Give me that baby for 1 second. If she's
Yeah.
just happened to pop in while we're doing show and tell.
That's
and
the
she
best
just-
blaming of them all.
She just woke up from a nap and she's sleepy.
Asian.
Hey, it's Madison Rose. Hashtag blame
yeah.
Phable, baby.
Aw,
Right.
don't worry, baby.
That's
Go
what I
back
got.
to bed.
That's what I got.
Thank you, brother.
It'll-
That was awesome, dude. Shit, I wish I could get those sideshows, man. I would definitely, if they were just a little bit
I know.
cheaper, I'd get them.
It's a silly
But
thing.
my man, Hyper Combo, take us home, brother.
All right, so I know like in the States you guys have like the store called Dollar General or something like that, right? So in Canada we have the equivalent is called Dollarama. So basically most of the stuff are $1, and then you have the odd stuff that are I think no more than $5. Anyways, I don't know if you guys know like the Marvel Legends Keener figures that they're like about 3.7 inch.
Yeah, like the Star Wars kind of things.
The thing is, once in a while the dollar store actually gets a wave of those, and a
No
few
way.
they released one wave. I collected all of those. There was about 12 different characters, and then yesterday I just realized they just put out a new wave. Randomly
Oh,
walked in, so I actually ended up grabbing. The thing is, when it's $5, I end up some of them doubles, one to kind of take out of the box and one to keep in the box.
yeah. Oh, nice. Damn, this is in Dollar General. Jesus.
That's awesome.
Wow.
That's badass, yeah.
Still has the $5 price tag. I gotta.
Oh, $5. Nice.
Again,
Oh,
it's $5
yeah.
Canadian, by the way, so it's probably like $1 in US. I don't know.
Oh my gosh. Oh.
So these are awesome, yeah.
Hell yeah.
And
Damn.
this is probably my favorite one in the lot, the AF-15.
Oh, that is dope.
Dollarama is way cooler than a Dollar General. Let me just throw that out there right now.
And the thing is, a buddy of mine, he just went to another Dollarama near his place, and he posted how they have a Magneto and the original Miss Marvel and a Johnny Storm. So now I'm hunting for those as well
Hell yeah.
to kind of fill out that. So that's kind of like the figs. I also went to a local Toy Con 2 weeks ago. Give me a second. Just gotta pull this.
Yeah, brother. Damn, bro. I Dollar General
Oh, yeah.
collecting has really become a thing. Like the cheap
Hmm.
store toy thing has really, like Nick is on it like that. Nick goes by, they have like Dollar General like Transformers, and he goes buys a bunch of them when they come out. He buys the whole rack, right? Like, of course. They're really cheap, but yeah, it's really become a thing. It's like the evolution of McDonald's toys. Like the next step up.
You'd be surprised. I mean, like the kind of stuff you would think, like, my gosh, this is only $5. I mean, clearly, I don't know if they had a surplus or something, because like I've seen some of them still go on auction for like $15-20. Like,
Yeah.
I'm like, the fact that they're just selling them for $5, so yeah, I'll take it. Okay, so
yeah.
I'm gonna blitz through these. So I went to a Toy Con 2 weeks ago locally, and a vendor, she had some Wizard magazines in a box for $4 a pop. So
What?
yeah. Now some of them don't have the card and posters, but I actually grabbed them more for the the actual cover art. So this one,
Yeah.
grab this one.
Nice.
This is issue I think 131. The only reason I bought is the
Look
first
at Lake.
early,
Look at Lake.
first early
He's
mention
going
of
crazy.
Isaiah Bradley as the Captain America before the Truth comic series.
Nice, dude.
the Dark Book.
Those
Oh,
Frank Quitely costumes.
Yeah,
Oh,
this one's pretty cool because I like
Nice.
the fact that they highlight Marvel and DC villains. It's not just heavy on one publication, so this is basically almost like a compendium of different villains. They kind of spotlight them, so it's actually a pretty cool read.
oh yeah.
And then this one I grabbed for the McFarlane
Nice.
Wizard 11.
I had
This
that one. I remember that issue.
This one, it's actually an Eric Larson Wolverine issue number 3. Now I bought it mainly. This is just a cool little. This one actually had the poster intact, oddly enough, and I'm kind of glad it did. Let me find it. You had the Ghost Rider Wizard. Oh, that's poster.
Wizard Ghost Rider.
Bro, that's sick.
So
It
that's
looks like
those
those,
are the- Now the same vendor, she had she basically had a sale where anything $10 and under, she was going to charge $3, and it's 4 for 10. So I actually picked these up from that little.
Oh, nice.
That's the one. That's why most of us are here.
David Fincher.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's sick. Let's
Too
get a
bad.
hold on. You give me another peek at that. Don't be teasing me on that.
Oh, sorry.
That's
Oh, yeah.
gnarly, dude.
There you go, dude.
Hell yeah.
First
Nice.
cameo Darkseid.
Beautiful.
Last
Nice.
issue in the series.
Oh, Batman, Superman. Okay.
Yeah.
Superman, Batman.
And I couldn't believe this was actually in the $3 pile. But I'll take it.
Whoa, dude.
Yo, no way. Yo. That's a good find.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So then same con, I went to a $3 bin, and this I grabbed in the $3 bin right here. That classic
Wow.
Deadpool.
I remember that one. Yup.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
90s goodness. I'm kind of filling my Mirage TMNT run, so this was in the $3 bin, so
Nice.
early TMNT issue.
Oh, yeah.
You can't go wrong with an RI for G.I. Joe.
Oh, nice. Oh,
1 in
yeah.
10. Some Ramos goodness.
Uh-huh. Oh, yeah.
Again, not in the best condition, but this was a 1 per store.
Oh, wow.
Oh, cool.
That's the original
sick.
Ghost Rider, right?
No, that's Gwenpool.
Oh, that's Gwenpool.
Yeah.
Oh.
I thought it was Moon Knight. Is that what you said, Phil?
Wow.
No, I said the original Ghost Rider.
I thought it was fucking Moon Knight for me.
And again,
he has a
this-
horse and shit.
I couldn't believe this was in the $3 bin.
Destroy a Duck. Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And then I'll wrap it up with this one I paid a bit more. It was, but not that much. I don't know if you guys know the significance about this one. This actually has the previews for Invincible, and it is a wraparound cover. I actually have to show you the wraparound.
Wow.
I dug it because Skeletor's right in the back.
Hell yeah. Who's on the cover for that one?
He-Man.
Oh, and it's a foil?
It's only the lettering is
Oh,
gold.
Damn.
That's badass.
That is badass. Hell yeah.
And then I don't know if you remember when Mark Brooks was doing all these Tron variants.
No. I
So
wasn't around for that one.
he had he was doing a bunch of Tron, during the movie Tron, some Marvel characters in that Tron uniform. This is probably one of my favorite ones, the Spider-Man Tron variant.
That's sick.
That's
That's
dope.
I love Mark
sick.
Brooks.
And then so people
Yeah.
make fun of me for this one. People make fun of me if you follow me on IG. So there's a story behind this cover. This is actually, I could be wrong, fuzzy memory, nostalgia, but this is probably the first ever comic I ever owned as a kid. A friend gifted it to me. Not this particular copy, but this issue.
Right.
Back then, I wasn't really into collecting comics. I didn't know how to take care of them. My original copy was so ratty, I had to actually throw it out. Basically, the cover was falling off and everything. So it's almost like now I have nostalgic goggles for this. So every time I see this, I end up scooping it up.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
And no joke, I think I'm close to 20 copies of this book. And the thing is, I haven't sold any single one of them. I actually made a joke, a side joke. Who knows if it actually might happen? I said that I may want to end up filling a short box of just this particular.
Yeah, that's a thing. That's a thing. I've seen a bunch
It's one of those
people do
childhood
that.
books.
Yep.
Now, Phable, I'm going to leave off with one book. I didn't pick it up this week.
Uh-huh.
But so the thing is, I'm kind of I don't really collect a lot of new comics lately. Usually, I'm more of a hunter in terms of back bin finds.
Right.
That's what kind of keeps me kind of, I guess, rejuvenates me in the hobby in terms of always,
Yeah.
because I post several times, expect the unexpected when you're going on the hunt.
Right.
That's at least that's how I look at it. Like, don't go in with a set minded, kind of let the books find you.
Yes.
This was a book that I found in the summer. I don't know if I'll ever top it in terms of how much and I'll tell you, I paid $40 for this. People in the chat, if you know what this book is, you'll know that I almost felt like I was gonna get jumped after I
gotta see this, man. What?
The 1 in 50 venomized Mary Jane ASM 678.
Wow.
Ain't the Mexican variant. This is the original deal. When I saw this for $40, I honestly thought, okay, am I getting punked? Like, like just to put it into context, there's not so much as a flex, but it's just more of letting you guys know that you could find
it. Yeah.
Just to put this in context, raws of this are selling in the 4 figures.
Wow.
Yeah. So the fact, and this wasn't even at an antique shop. I found this at an LCS. So I don't know if it was a new kid that was pricing books that day that ended.
Someone's getting fired.
Yeah.
They missed the zero.
Blame Hyper for that guy losing his job.
That's what someone told me. It's like you know, you might have cost a kid a job or something. but so, you know, people are also saying, oh man, you should sell it. But the thing is, the problem with, like, see, I'm a collector at heart, right? So the thing is, the chance of me finding that book again for that price, it's almost nil to none. So it's almost like it's like lightning in a ball. So for that reason, I actually have. It's almost like I kind of consider this as a trophy, I guess you could say.
Yeah, absolutely, dude.
Absolutely.
But not only when you get rid of these things, you gotta like make that. You gotta make that I might never see you again kind of like goodbye with the item, right? And then it's also like, do you even want to go there anymore after you finally get rid of it? The monkey's off your back. You sold it. You did it. You made the decision. Do you really want to go buy it again? You know what I mean? It's just, it's like so yeah. Definitely keep it for yourself, for sure, man.
Like, there's a lot of books that I know that if I sell it, I can easily find it back just because based on the print run and all that. So, but then there's other books, especially those hard to find ones that you know, especially when you've hunted long enough, you know that you've only seen them once in a while. That if you let it go, what are the chances that you'll find it again? So really, it's really your attachment to the book.
That's me and Uncanny X-Men. You know, 98 to 300, like. I used to want every Uncanny X-Men, and then out of nowhere, they all became $10 to $15 a piece. Yeah. It was like, okay, forget that dream.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you could find stuff in the wild like that, hold on to it for sure, man. That's a great find, dude. That's a great find. That's it. That's the blaming.
That's the blaming.
Oh yeah, station of that, man. That was awesome, dude. You killed it. That was a great haul, bro.
Yeah, it's always nice sharing and also seeing what other people kind of share for their haul. I always like, because it kind of puts me on the radar when I see other people posting what they have. It kind of, that's why I like following, you know, different people on IG, because I end up getting, I tell people this all the time, like, you know, some people ask me like, hey, how do you know the value or significance of a book when you pull it? It's like, because sometimes I have that visual cue because I saw someone else post it on their feed or something like that. So it's like a trigger. So that's why I tell people follow the community. You can definitely get educated by the people that, you know, that post their stuff on.
That's who I blame on the daily. I blame IG all day.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly. My wallet, my holes in my wallet come from IG, 100%. Because I follow everything Hyper. You know what I mean? I know my man Verno said, it's just horror what he got. No, I got toys. I got anything that costs money. I got.
That's the only drawback. Everything costs money.
Yeah. But yeah, man, thank you again. That was awesome, dude. Thank you, everybody in the chat. Let me just go over the chat one quick time before we get out of here. My man S. Vaughn joined us today. Station S. Vaughn, thanks for joining us, guys. And again, sorry if I couldn't get you to all your comments. Spiderweb in the house. Station, my brother. I don't know if I said what up to my brother Trev, but Station Trev, how are you, my bro? Let's see who else we got in here. Oh, my brother Nora Rad dropped by to say what up. Station, my brother surfing, hell yeah. Let's see. They had a few people come in. I thought I saw. Where is he? I thought I saw. Oh, we got Kevin Flores in the house. Got to bring new young readers to survive making comics anyhow. Hell yeah, agreed. And we might not all like it when they do. That's the thing. That's the point. It might turn us all off, but it has to be done sometimes. John's Comics for Kids. What up, amazing friends? Asian John, how are you? Thanks, guys, for joining us this afternoon. It was a great show, man. So much. We
Had a fun time, man.
OUG Station, my sister. How are you, man? Everybody go support OUG. She just dropped a new book. I think it's a book of poetry or collected poetry. On Amazon. You can find it. Talk about Kindle. You can find my homegirl, Official Unofficial Geek's new book on the Kindle, man. Go check it out. I think it's called something bitch. I don't know what it's called. I'm sorry, Carrie. Put it in the chat.
It's funny how that's the only word that resonated with you.
Yeah, bitch. Yeah, I saw that word. She knew that too, though. That's why she named it. Oh man, such a great show, man. Guys, like I said, thank you. You guys got anything coming up? I'll start with my brother Link. Anything coming up in the future you want to plug real quick?
Supreme Clientele every Wednesdays, 9 o'clock. Dr. Doom's fan club. We just had Phable on this week, and he's spreading some Transformers knowledge and love, which we always appreciate. Every Wednesdays, 9 o'clock. Dr. Doom's fan club.
Oh yeah,
Verno.
Check them out, man.
Hell
Supreme
yeah.
Clientele has quickly become my favorite show on Wednesday nights, man. I don't know what's streaming. I don't know what's going on in the world of television. I just know I'm on YouTube watching my brother Missing Link and my brother Dr. Doom's fan club. And I think Verno, weren't you on that show?
No, I was in the chat.
Oh, okay.
I was in the chat.
I feel like you're on everything these
He's
days.
in
Verno.
the works.
Yeah. While I'm talking about that, tell us what you got going on, Verno.
I want to pump the one we did last week, man. More people need to just check out the movie Totally Killer on Amazon Prime. And me and Stef and Stu, Supreme Clientele, on Blood Splatter Chatter. We had a really good talk about that one. Good, nice little Back to the Future meets Scream, fun for the whole family kind of movie. If you're looking for a feel-good slasher movie, that's the one. It might be the only one. But and then next week, or I just talked with Robbie last night. We talked about the brand new Eli Roth movie, and that'll be dropping in a day or so. So interesting, man. I'll just say right now, the critics are loving this movie. I hated it. It was terrible. I couldn't stand it. So go,
perspective, at least.
Go check out our review on that when it comes out.
I
If you like horror, you like horror fun facts.
I look
be
forward
there.
to this.
And then at the end of the month, dude, we're gonna be talking about Talk to Me, big horror movie. And we almost always got Steph. We almost always got Phable. Stu's there a lot, Robbie. So if you haven't if you haven't subbed up, go check us out, man. It's good.
Yeah, go check out Blood Splatter Chatter, man. If you love horror movies, we do the classics. He does the new stuff like Exorcist, the one new Exorcist that just dropped, and now this whole other new movie. So Blood Splatter Chatter, check him out. My brother Hyper Combo, thank you so much for joining us today. I hope you have fun. I hope you had a good time talking about all this pop culture nerd stuff.
Yeah.
You got anything going on, brother?
Yeah, I mean, I'll highlight some of the stuff that I did this past week on YouTube. I was a guest on 2 shows this week. Actually, sorry, 3 shows. Yesterday, I was a co-host for Hustlemania at the Tony Sanders The Hunt show. It's like
nice.
Where anyone that doesn't know The Hunt, it's like a battle where people kind of throw down showing their comics. Let me put it to you this way. I'm not going to spoil what happened, but things got so real. Real.
Real.
A new person in the chat actually legitimately was about to call the police.
No way.
So I'm not gonna say why, but you'll have to see the something happened.
That's the best plug I've ever heard. So I'm like, I am subbing up. Where did this happen? Let's go.
Tony Sanders.
You should have used that in your blaming. You should have used that in the blaming.
Yeah. I was also on Nearing Nirvana on the show Long Story Short. That's the show where they kind of highlight ghost books, oddities, like things that people generally aren't on the radar. That's actually a show that I generally watch to kind of put books on my peripheral in terms of stuff that I should kind of be looking out for on The Hunt. So yeah, that was a fun time. Kind of, I threw in my picks as well for those for that show. And then I was also on the Comic Kingpin's Show Me Your Haul. They do that every second Thursday, where we basically show our hauls that we've done for, those 2 weeks. So it's, kind of like the You're Blaming Fable segment. We kind of learn from our hauls and kind of, figure, see what we picked up for those 2 weeks.
Oh yeah.
In terms of what I have going on, like I alluded to earlier on in the show, I am trying to get my own solo YouTube channel off the ground. It's been dormant for the last 2 years. It was a case where I had one successful live show and then I did practically nothing for like a year and a half. So I'm trying to get that rolling, and the only thing is like it is a bit of a time commitment in terms of the editing. It's a lot more of a beast when you're trying to do something pre-recorded versus live. I like the live format because you just go in. People are a lot more forgiving as when you do pre-recorded. There's a lot more part. You almost feel a bit more self-conscious, I feel, when you're doing a pre-recorded because you actually see the finished product before putting it out. So I'm doing a bit of gaming and comic related content on that. The last video I put out was my opinion on the $10 DLC that Mortal Kombat did on one of their fatalities, which is complete nonsense. And I'm looking to also do my review on Spider-Man 2 once I actually finish it. But with work and everything else, I haven't been able to complete that campaign as quickly as I wanted to. Life gets in the way. So
well, if you ever need any extra people on, me and Link here, we're a couple of gamers ourselves. We love our PlayStations and Xbox and Nintendos, all that.
Hey, listen, so, I definitely do also want to do live segments as well. I haven't figured out the angle, but yeah, definitely I would I'm open to having friends and guests on to do roundtable discussions.
Oh yeah. What was that? Somebody came. Oh, there he goes. Where is he? There he goes. Hey, Phable Maniac, stay man station. Of course, you can catch me here every Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern on the One Collection Down YouTube channel. Next week's guest will be Southern Comic Geek. So come check us out next Saturday. It's going to be a great show. My first time hanging out with SCG. SCG has been a great supporter of ours. I've always seen him in Robbie's chats and in our chats and stuff like that. So it's about time that I have SCG in the house. And that's going to be next Saturday, 1 p.m. Eastern. And of course, check out all the PCP Army Bad Batch guys. We're all trying to just do our thing, just like everybody else. Trying to stay consistent. Like you said, it's kind of tough to do this stuff all the time, especially when you're a parent, have a full-time job, whatever it is. You know what I mean? Stay at home mom, stay at home dad, whatever it is. We're all busy. But thank you, everybody in the chat, for joining us this afternoon. There's only one thing left to say. Be excellent to each other. And party on, dudes. Station. Where's my brand?